Well, good morning or evening, I guess, if you're on the other side of the world. How is it going? One day I'm actually going to fix this latency thing so that I'm actually in real time. One day. Yeah. It'll happen eventually. You'll see. I say that about a lot of things, though. Good morning. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Hana Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. For me, it's Festivus because I don't really celebrate much, honestly. My family doesn't even do gift exchanges, so, you know, it's all good. Yeah. I am curious why there are so many people who are, like, here, given that it's Christmas Eve. I figured, like, there'd be, like, maybe 20 people here instead. I guess a lot of you really just want to have a little bit of a break. Yeah, okay, so, this is my EU account. I just started this, like, a couple days ago. For 2 reasons. Well, 3. 3 reasons. So, first off, I really wanted a Wanderer. A C0. For funsies. I don't think I'm gonna get it in the time period because, like, I forgot how long it takes to get your adventure rank up to something where there's no more restrictions on doing quests and everything. And then I also forgot that, like, story quests have this thing where... frig, where is it? Oh, I can't even do them yet. Yeah, see, they're not even open. I don't even have the battle pass unlocked. I forgot that was something you had to unlock. Like, there's so much stuff I just forgot about. I don't think I'm gonna get them in like 3 days. But that's okay. The other reason I was doing this account was because I am missing quite a bit of early footage of this game. Because I didn't start properly recording things until like 1.6. Even though I'm a day 1 player, I wasn't recording anything. So I did that. And then the third reason is because oftentimes on stream, I don't have much to do in the game. So I figured it would be nice to have an account where there's like little things we can do. You know. So yeah, that's this. This is my EU account. It's very baby. It's really weird going back and playing this after so long, like with a 2-year gap. Because there's so much I forgot was a thing. It's also weird because I remember this game being a lot harder. But I think a lot of that was because no one really knew how the game worked yet. But now that I'm like back in here and it's like everything is level 20 and I don't even have my first ascension passives and stuff like that, like it feels a lot easier because I know how reactions work. I know how to min-max damage. And so like the game feels much better when you know what you're doing. Anyway, I'm really just going to be kind of bumming around. I've unlocked all of Monstadt. But I haven't unlocked all of Leeway or Sumeru, and I haven't been. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done. Also, the Cry of Regisvine is hard when you don't have any damage. I kind of forgot about that. I do have commissions to do too, so that's a thing. Do I watch Murder of Birds? No, I don't know what that is. I have watched a Murder of Birds. Animal Traveler! Whee! How jarring is it to see a streamer do like 200 damage? Oh, jeez. Citron, happy holidays! Thank you! Here's for your EU Scar funds. Please enjoy. Oh, Emmy, thank you, but you don't have to do that. I don't, this is I'm gonna play this completely free to play. That's the goal, is to like go completely free to play. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. But thank you. Yeah. I could cheat and be like, I'll go free to play, but I'm gonna buy a Wanderer first. That feels like absolute cheating, though. I don't know if I want to do that. That's not true free to play. True free to play is realizing you can't get something and then you save obsessively for like 6 months. Hey, look, I got the battle pass. Okay, apparently that unlocks that AR-20. And the Spiral Abyss. Cool. Love it. God, this feels weird. It feels so weird. I'm so out of sorts. Anyway. Yeah, but happy holidays. Thank you very much. I mean, you're probably going to end up getting that back. I still haven't bought my stickers from your store. I really wanted the stickers. Rentaro, happy holidays to you too. Thanks for the super chat. I was showing my mom a video of yours last night before work. She was shocked by how in-depth this game is. Yeah, I've tried so many times to, because like, this is a significant enough of a time suck for me that I consider it a job. So a lot of people ask like, well, what do you do when you do YouTube? And I'm like, how do I even begin to explain what I'm doing? I have no idea. Ow. Murder of Birds is a streamer. Oh, okay. If they're on Twitch, I probably have no idea who they are. Twitch and I, you see, we don't spend a lot of time with each other. I don't even remember how to get into my Twitch account. Like, I have one. I just don't remember how to get there. And I think the email that I used for it is one that I don't have anymore. So that's, I can't even password recovery it. I don't spend any time on Twitch, basically at all. Basically at all. I know, Traveler doing 13 damage. Wow, so strong. Whack. Come back here. It's time to heal my team. You know what's funny is the only catalyst I have is Thrilling Tales. So, like, it's so jarring. It's so jarring. Everything about this feels so wrong. Did I come up with new theories? Oh god, I come up with new theories all the time. It's not even funny. It's really bad. It's so bad. Oh my god. Me lying in bed trying to fall asleep, and then my brain goes, hey, did you remember? And then I'm like, oh no. Oh, I can do these now. Or can I? No, I can't. Nope, can't do these yet. Okay, I don't even have these unlocked. Neato, 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 neato. All right. Give me materials, because they're going to be precious. Casp, happy holidays. Thanks for the super chat. Now that I look back on Monstadt, hopefully Fontaine and Snezhnaya are not as generic European as Monstadt is. Also, either went to Sumeru first or Inazuma should have gotten the 5-axe treatment. Yeah, Inazuma really should have... Inazuma suffered from a lot of problems, but I think like most of them were actually derived from... how do I put this? Hoyoverse did not expect Genshin to be as big as it was. And during the time when they were developing Inazuma, they experienced like 10x growth on their body count in their company. So they went from like, well, no, experienced like a 2x growth, honestly, because I think they were like total like a 700 person company, and they like, how much did they go to? I know they went to a couple thousand after that, so it was like either 2 or 3x growth, which is a crazy amount of people to onboard, because like you need new buildings, you need new office space, you need to train all those people. You need to get them all equipment, get them all set up. You need to, you know, like they need to become familiar with the game. So it's like this huge thing. And I feel like that's where and why Inazuma suffers so much, is because they were going through these extreme growing pains at the time when they were developing it. And they just didn't have a proper team built because they were growing so fast. Which is why I'm very glad to see that in Sumeru, they were able to kind of like take it to the next level, so to speak, right? Like they've got things figured out now, which is really great. And I think it makes all the difference. I don't want to play that right now. I don't know if I'm even ready to take on the Abyss yet. But yeah, I'm like, in hindsight, I wish they would have added stuff to Inazuma like post, you know. I don't think they will. I don't think they feel like they can. Oh, there's so much to do. Yeah. But yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. That said, I don't think it'll be generic. Like, Monstadt actually isn't that generic. It just depends on where you come from, I think. And actually, one interesting thing, I was doing the Dvalin fight, like, you know, the aerial combat part. And that was interesting to me because, where am I going? I don't know why I'm walking the long way to Catherine. Don't mind me. I can't even go to Catherine. I gotta go to the Dawn Winery. Never mind. I'm an idiot. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Jean is still stalking me. She was my first 10 pull on the beginner banner. I swear to God. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I have the attention span of a gnat. These are all just free wishes that you get. Oh, wait. No, I can't look at the beginner banner. Frag! Damn it. Okay, well, she was my first... That's how you know I got her. She was my first 10 pull on the friggin' beginner banner. And I have her C4 on my other account, and she's stalking me like crazy. Anyway, I was saying something. Oh, right. I was doing the Dvalin fight. The aerial one. And I took so much damage because I was looking at the background more than I was actually like trying to fight Dvalin. I noticed, like, you know the anime teaser? You know how they had like those huge sprawling landscapes and stuff? Something I realized is that was probably always what Monstadt was intended to look like these big rolling plains and hills and these deep crevice valleys and stuff like that. Because that's actually what the 3D top-down view from the Dvalin fight looks like. It's really interesting. Like, it looks a lot like the anime, which I think is just cool. I think that's really cool. Anyway. Random, I know. So I don't think it'll be that generic. I actually think that Monstadt is supposed to be the way it is. Because when you think about it, you know how this is interesting. This is interesting. So you know how in the Sumeru Archon Quest with Scaramouche, right? He basically deleted himself, or tried to. And then in order to keep him from staying deleted, Nahida had basically created a backup in the form of a storybook. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Monstadt is basically a nation of storybook characters. Right? And I think that's why probably the nation itself feels a bit... how to put this? Basic. Like, I think it feels basic because it's supposed to be a storybook. Like, I think Mondstadt is literally supposed to be a fantasy novel or a storybook or like a book of Mother Goose story rhymes or like a Brothers Grimm thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what Mondstadt is supposed to be. And so there's that, but I also don't feel like it feels all that generic. But maybe it's just because I don't live in a place that looks like Mondstadt. And I know I'm arguing for two sides of the same thing here, which is something that's like not great. What am I doing? But you know, it's just how I'm thinking about it. Anyway, sorry, I got way off track. Greg, happy holidays! Thank you for the super chat. Do you think in the end game we will get alt versions of countries like Destroyed Celestia? I don't know that Destroyed Celestia would be an alt. But I get what you're saying. Like, do you think we'll get like a destroyed Mondstadt or a destroyed? And that's a tough one. Like, I think we will to a degree. I just don't know if it'll be like, you know, like how in some RPGs they'll like actually destroy a town and it like changes everything about how that town works. Like all the NPCs change and everything else. Like half the stuff might not be accessible. Buildings might go down. Like the whole place will just look totally different. I don't know that Genshin will do that. But just because of the way their quests work, I don't think that they try not to lock you out of quests. So, oh, hey, what the? They try not to lock you out of quests, and when you do that in an RPG, like, what the? Oh, there he is. You lock people out of quests. So, I don't know. We'll see. Now, that said, they've been experimenting with the idea of, like, overlaying destroyed areas on top of non-destroyed areas. For example, like, in the desert. Like, Destrit's area, right? Like, you can see, both the current ruined versions and you can kind of, like, restore them at the same time. With, like, those special little, like, Sims thing. So I think we'll get more of those. I think we'll get more of those like weird time dilation functions. That's what I think. Gimme. I want treasure. Yeah. Anyway. We'll see. We'll see. Meet so happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Ash. Hope you have a great time despite the weather and everything else. Looking forward to everything coming in 2023. Me too. Also, go get some frickin' sleep. Mitsu doesn't sleep, okay? Never sleeps. But thank you very much. Hopefully 2023 will be great. Honestly, I've had a pretty good 2022. I know it's been a rough year for a lot of people. I'm hoping to maintain momentum. I'm hoping everybody has a really good 2023 because, like, after the last few years, I feel like everyone just deserves one good, easy year. You know what I mean? Everyone deserves, like, that one chill year where, like, everything just... Maybe it's not amazing, but, like, nothing really goes wrong. Or too wrong, you know? I would like that. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm keeping my my ask a little low, because I'd rather keep my standards slightly low and then be surprised when things are great, than to be putting them really high and then get disappointed. But that's just me. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sitting on a squirrel. He does not appreciate this. Oh Hi. Chat, please stop jumping. Oh my god, I'm so far behind. How am I already behind? I've only been here for like a half an hour. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with me? Rentaru, happy holidays! Work was a killer last night. We were utterly understaffed, pulled a 10-hour shift. I'm exhausted, but luckily I'm off for the next 2 days. Yes, and make the best of it. Like, relax, treat yourself good, drink some delicious hot chocolate, do something nice for yourself. I feel like people don't do enough nice things for themselves. Be kind to your body. Fill it with junk food. Those are two very different statements. But like, it's the same thing, right? When you think about it. Burn! Happy Hot Chocolate Month! Yes! Miss... Okay. Nope. I don't have words. No words. No words. But yeah, I wait for the slimes to spawn and they don't spawn. There they are. Hi. Happy Hot Chocolate Month to you too, MSNX117. I don't know how to say that. How is that phonetic at all? Can that be phonetic? Miss Nix17? Yep, that's your new name. Miss Nix17. It's my holiday gift to you. A bad nickname. Altair, I have a fear that we will get new regions added to the main continent. Oh, wait. I have a fear that as we get new regions added to the main continent, eventually Hoyo is going to forget about Inazuma completely. I mean, maybe. I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible. I don't know that they will forget Inazuma completely. I feel like Inazuma has a different role than the other nations. Like, yes, on the one hand, they're, how do I put this? Isolated and, like, way off the... But that's kind of the point, you know? It's kind of the point that, like, Inazuma isn't connected to anything else. And they're also the closest nation to the Dark Sea, right? So I feel like as we start venturing farther and farther out from, like, the safety of the mainland and everything, we're going to start seeing those areas as more and more important. So I do agree on the one hand that they're underutilizing Inazuma and it's really difficult to tie it into anything, but I also think that that's not a given, you know? Like, I feel like they're gonna do something with it. It's just might not be for quite a while. Can we go up now? Please? There it goes. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I lost my place again. Why does chat jump so much? I didn't ask it to do that. What's my favorite sub-region in terms of aesthetics? No, I went down again! I didn't mean to do that. No. Okay, well, I'm gonna sit on this elevator. Oh, wait. I don't need to go on the elevator. There's, like, things on the stairs. I forgot. Who takes the stairs here anymore? I just warped to the top. Sub-region in terms of aesthetics. You know... I would have to say I like Liyue best, and then I like the Sumeru Desert next, and then I like Sumeru, and then I like Monstadt and Inazuma are probably pretty equal to me. How do people even get up here most of the time if they don't use the elevator? Like, all these bridges are busted. You know? Hi, lady. Give me recipes. Yum, yum, yum. Gives me all the things. Books. Yeah. So many things to collect. It feels so strange. I'm not used to this. just gonna raid the cupboards. Okay. Sora, happy holidays, and thank you for the super chat. You know, if Ether Sora could resonate with another element but couldn't activate a vision, it's because Ether is actually the vision itself. I've seen a few theories along those lines. Like, they have, like, a built-in vision or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like visions are not what we've been told they are. Does that make sense? Like, we've been told that they're like magical foci and that they're used for channeling elemental energy, but it might not be in the way that we think they are, because like there's a lot of weirdly suspicious things. That kind of comes around when it comes to humans using elemental or any kind of magic, you know? Like, there's more instances of humans being able to use magic or adeptal arts or whatever without having visions. So you have to wonder exactly how necessary a vision is. Like, what is it actually doing? Like, even in the little, like, anime teaser for Ayaka, where she got her vision and stuff, like, even in that case, she was using elemental energy before the vision manifested. So either the vision is like part of a person and it just kind of like comes out like an egg, or, you know, they might not be necessary and they might instead be like a limiter rather than a enabler. Does that make sense? Food for thought. Vision lore gives me a headache, honestly. I try not to think about it too much. I don't like vision lore. It's like infuriating. I mean, I am glad for one thing. We know now that visions manifest with their casings, which is weird. It's super weird that they manifest with their casings. When you think about it. There's no reason that they should do that. But they do. I don't like it. I'm gonna steal your book. Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. Rentaru, thanks for the super chat, man. I'd love to stay, but even a demon needs rest. Yes, well, that's okay. That's why we save these for later. That's actually why I prefer YouTube over Twitch. It's one of the reasons. I know Twitch has way more features and all that other kind of stuff, but it's like, I like being able to save these for later because I don't do them all the time. So it's nice, you know? I think that's cool. Well, have a lovely rest. I hope you sleep very well, and when you wake up, you're completely disoriented because your dream was so realistic. That's a weird thing to wish for somebody. But it's true. Smack. Sora, thanks for this. The next super chat. You don't have to do that, but thank you. That's why everything that Ether sees is true. If it doesn't, it's an illusion because he is the eye of God itself. That would be interesting, like being God's vision, so to speak. That would be very interesting. Actually, it's funny. There's, oh dear, I'm gonna get frozen. There's actually some myths that can lend that some credibility. Oops. I know that in Egyptian mythology, some of you who've watched some of my older videos might know this too. Hathor or Bastet or, oh, what was the other one? There was another one. I forget. They were actually considered the eye of Ra. Like they were his eye, one of his eyes, and also the enforcement of his judgment and everything else. So what I'm saying is basically like there were Egyptian gods that were essentially supposed to be the manifestations of the eye or the wrath or the power of a different god. So it's very possible, you know? There is some mythological basis for it. Which is neato! Stop jumping around on me, chat! Oh my god. Woozy, happy holidays! Thank you for your super chat. Woozy, Merry Christmas! I won't be playing Genshin for a few days, but I love watching your streams, and I have a question I've always wondered. Do you think there could be other continents in the Genshin world? Yes! Owie. Owie! Don't hit me! This is probably the dumb way to do this. Hold on. There's definitely other continents in the Genshin world. There's no way they're gonna call it the Teyvat continent and then not make it an actual continent. Wow, look at this. I am fly swimming. There. Not that elegant. That's okay. I think after we solve the whole Conria thing, we're gonna basically open up to that, and we're gonna end up with like a whole new world to explore. I really think that. It's either that, or they're gonna consider Genshin to be like a, how to put this, planet inside of Star Rail. They might do that too. They have a matching cosmology, where Teyvat could basically very comfortably just fit right into the Star Rail universe without actually being part of Star Rail, because Star Rail is all about going from individual planets to individual planets, you know? So that could definitely be a thing. I wouldn't put it past him to do that. I got the thingy! Rentaro, you're supposed to be in bed. I mean, thank you, but go to bed. Last super chat before I sleep. Thanks for the wishes, but unfortunately I don't dream. Maybe the Akasha is real. Oh no, everybody dreams. You just don't always remember it. Like dreams are just like your brain committing things to long-term memory and like processing everything. If you don't dream, like you don't remember shit. You definitely dream. Whether you remember it or not is a completely separate thing. I have no idea where the statue... Oh, it's all the way over here. It's so weird, like, going through here with a blank map. Like, I have legit no idea where I'm going. It's super weird. It's neat, though, you know, to go back and kind of do all this after the fact. Because, like, I've forgotten so many things. I have forgotten so many things. I have to fight so many of these guys. I need hoarder medals. I need them. I need them! Oof! Oh my god. The thing about Yenfei is trying to target her charged attacks. It's such a pain. Yeah, I don't know. Cocolia, what's your speculation on the future playable Fatui Harbinger's elements, and do you have any thoughts on them? No, I hate the Fatui Harbingers. All my homies hate the Fatui Harbingers. What are you talking about? They betrayed me. No, I don't even think Hoyo knows at this point. I really don't. Like, I can't even express like my thoughts about them, because like it's such a mess. The Harbingers are such a mess. Oh my god. I feel like every time we get new Harbinger lore, there's one other thing that just pisses me off. So I try not to think about them. I really don't want to think about them. As far as elements go, like I guess I'll be surprised if Columbina is not an emo. I think she's a really good Anemo character. I think Arlecchino is perfect for Cryo. I think Pantalone should definitely be Geo. Dottore I also think will be Pyro, but I think he'll be like Blue Flames. I need to go over here. We need to go this way. Okay, that's why. Wait, that's Dragonspine. I don't want to go to Dragonspine. Not now. I'm like level 25. Wait, no, that's not Dragonspine. This is Dragonspine. This isn't Dragonspine. This is all right. We're going here. It's fine. I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe that is Dragonspine. Oh, wait, no, that's not Dragonspine. That's the mining village. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's fine. It's fine. Doing this blind is so strange. Puccina also seems like a good cryo unit. I think Sandrone makes sense to be Electro. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Oh, Capitano. I don't know about Capitano. That guy's weird. Like, very weird. I honestly don't know what to make of him. And no, before anyone asks, I'm not gonna call him Geo because of my whole Monogius thing. That's crack. I know it's crack. It's fine. I don't actually think that's the case. Actually, you know, insofar as that goes, like a realistic prediction for who Capitano is, because I think a lot of people are very curious. The more time goes on, the more I actually do think he's a really good candidate for Eamon-Locker. I am probably saying that so wrong. Oh, right, we gotta do this again. I think he's a really good candidate for Capitano. And if you don't know who that is, Eamon-Locker was like a traveler who he was the one who like tried to save Dragonspine. And then when he came back, everybody was dead. And then later, either him or his lineage helped liberate Mondstadt. I really think Capitano's a good candidate for him. But we'll see. Right now, that's my reigning theory, like realistic theory. The Monogius one doesn't count. That was crack. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. We'll see. I got really sidetracked. Oh my god. Landon, you're the reason I've been doing a deep dive on the Queen of Sheba and if she has a correlation to Genshin, like if there's an inscribed pillar of science somewhere in Genshin. Wait until 3.4. You'll find everything you need, I think. It's hard to articulate here. This isn't really leak based, but like the likelihood of us getting a new region in 3.4 is very, very, very high because that's kind of the pattern we follow, right? So the only place that we know in Sumeru that's gonna definitely get an expansion is the like Sand Twister up north, and that should be the city of the Moon Maiden, so that should be the Goddess of Flowers thing. So if we're gonna get lore that'll support you in that endeavor, it'll be there in the next version. However, there is quite a bit that you could just look at right now in the meantime. regarding Solomon and the Queen of Sheba and stuff. So you could probably find some pretty convincing stuff in the meantime. Gives me oculi. Yeah. Feels good to have some eyes. I do like it. Put it in my eye collection. Yes, delicious. With Razor and Sino, we got to know that beings akin to pure elemental beings can work with humans. Do you think we'll encounter more beings like this in the future? Oh yeah, for sure. Tons. Many, 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 many. I can't foresee a situation where we don't. Put it that way. Will you try to get 100% EXP? I don't know what that means. Lyoko lives. Or lives. I don't know. It's one of the two. They're spelled the same. Oh, wait. That's not a treasure hoarder. Bye-bye. Happy holidays. I'm doing a new playthrough too because I missed so much or didn't understand the significance. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, going back on this and then looking at everything again with fresh eyes, there's a lot of stuff that's a bit thought-provoking. Like, you can kind of see a lot more of the foreshadowing, I think. Now, somebody pointed this out to me, and I need to go back and actually remember what Paimon said. You know how in the Descender video I said that the Traveler knows what the teleport waypoints do? While no one else does? And that was kind of some evidence as to, like, how to... Anyway. I completely forgot that at the very beginning of the game, Paimon is the one who tells us what they do. Because it's just one of those tutorial things that you don't think about ever again. So, yeah. I don't really know how that weighs in on stuff. I don't know if it makes too much of a difference. Because it still doesn't explain the way that things are worded. And even Paimon doesn't seem to know too much about them. But I need to go check the exact wording in Chinese too, because I wanna figure out if they were just going, here's a tutorial for the player, or, you know, because sometimes Paimon will tell you things that you already know. So it doesn't like actually disprove anything actively, but like it does make it a bit weaker. Anyway, that was fun stuff. But like little things like that you friggin' forget. Like, did you know that Paimon actually, when she flies alongside you, because she can, she just like randomly takes her crown off and tosses it around and then puts it back on her head? Like that's her little animation. It's really cute, but it's also like, wait a second. And then in the flying Dvalin scene, when you fight him in the air, the moon isn't full. It's a crescent moon, which like really screws with me. So that's fun. Hi, Zhongli. That feels better. Repair! Magic Stone statue activate! Give me presents, give me presents. He's my Santa Claus. Mathito, do you think the 3.3 Archon Quest had any important lore things? Oh my god, there are so many. Like, I'm still struggling with it because I don't know whether to do like a quest recap or to do a Scaramouche analysis, or to do both. And then if I do both, what do I include in each one? I'm really struggling with that right now. Just trying to figure out how I want to organize that, because there's a lot to cover. So I might end up doing both. Might end up doing both, and then I did have I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I did have a realization recently that I think I actually know for the first time what the irrigation of mankind was, and the very beginning of the game suddenly clicked for me. When I was playing through it this time, which is such a weird thing because like there wasn't anything that in particular that happened to trigger it. I just like, oh, I hate these things so much. I hate them. Stop moving. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Hate them. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, there's so many important lore things in 3.3 though. So many. Yeah, I gotta get organized. Hi, my dude. How you doing? You wanna have a chat? Don't throw primo gems at me. Meanie. I forgot. Oh god, I'm not trying to be really thorough on this account. I'm really not. we're just bumming around and taking what we see as we get it. There it goes. Go. Hi, am I part of the LGBT community? What, you think I need a membership card? What a thing to ask. I don't think I will answer that actually. Because I don't really think it matters. Do I support the LGBT community? Yes, absolutely. But like, I don't think it matters if I'm a member of it. I don't need a membership card or anything. That's silly. I think that's something that people can kind of decide for themselves. All right, I'm catching up. Hang on. I'm totally catching up. Jerry, do you think any more of the Harbingers will actually die or leave? Also, do you think Signora is... My chat jumped. My chat jumped. Why? Why? Gone for good. I should have just auto-predicted that one. Yes and no and no and yes. I love non-committal answers. Ow. I missed. I am not used to playing Yanfei when she doesn't generate her own shield. Owie. Hang on. Oh, look at all that damage. So much damage. Me and my 3-star artifacts, man. Thank you. Jeez. Right, wait, what? Signora gone for good. Right, that was the question. So... Signora is super weird, because, like, they still haven't announced her voice actress, which makes me think that they have plans for her later on, and I think that's the strongest evidence for her being more relevant in the game later than almost anything else, because there's no way, like, they're just keeping her on staff so that she could do random-ass flashback scenes with Skarmouche, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way they're doing stuff like that. I do think Signora as a character is gone. But I've said this many times. I think if they keep her, which I think is a distinct possibility that they will, if not almost 100%. She won't be Signora. She'll end up a bit like Wanderer, except I don't think she'll even have her memories. I think we'll get a Rosalind. I don't think we'll get a Signora. Does that make sense? So, like, on the one hand, yes, she's dead as Signora, but, like, I feel like with all of the Irminsul stuff, there can be a lot of timeline quackery that will allow us to meet Rosalind and work with her instead. I don't think they're gonna pull another Wanderer with her. I think they're gonna, like, actually rewind time. I don't know if I can do this. Do I have enough damage for this? That is the question. Oh, okay, we got 40 seconds. We can do this. Owie. We can do this, she says. Proceeds to get stonewalled. Come on. There. Owie! Mean! Barely! Yay! Oh, this damage is pathetic. As for Harbinger's dying, I don't know. I feel like Genshin might be a bit too cowardly to pull off a real death. Like a completely permanent one. I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all that that'll happen. At all. Tempest Astra, do you think that one person who married the Seelie could have been a descender? I believe they're referred to as an outlander. Yes. Yeah. But Descenders are so strange. Not because they themselves are complicated or anything. It's just that, like... How do I put this? How do I put this? I don't actually know how to articulate my thoughts on this, actually. Like, on the one hand, yes, I think they could have been a descender, but I think that... I also don't know. Like, to be a descender, you have to completely descend, right? So, like, there is a possibility that there are other beings that just don't come down to Teyvat, but stay in, like, a heavenly sphere, so to speak. That just kind of chill here, you know? So it's possible that they have the same source as descenders, but might not actually be a descender because they never actually descended, but who knows? It's so hard to, like, define, because we don't know how the Fatui define descenders. I need to climb this. But it's very possible that they weren't from Teyvat. Because the traveler from afar is also a term that's used to describe the traveler in the very beginning of the game. And Kaya is the one who's, like, pretty suspicious of that. A traveler from afar, is that all we know of them? Like, he knows some shit. You know? It's so hard to articulate my thoughts on it. It's such a weird thing conceptually with, like, no baseline. And what I guess what really gets me is, like, we're about halfway through the game, if not a little under halfway through the game, I think. And this is all we know. So I'm sitting here like, come on, like you can give us a little bit more. The Abyss Order still hasn't done anything particularly significant. The Fatui are still questionable in every sense of the word. Like, it's very... I don't know. That was like the most unhelpful answer, I'm aware. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Decris Gaming, what do you think about the Traveler having or getting the King Piece Nosis? I don't know. I don't think the Traveler will have a Nosis. I think the Nosis are a little unrelated to the Traveler in general. But we'll see, I guess. It's just like I'm starting to think like the actual role of the pieces matters less than we've been thinking it does. Like, I think for a long time we've been assuming, oh, you know, Venti has the queen, therefore he must be really important. I'm starting to think that that's not actually the case. I think it's actually just like, it doesn't matter what the piece is. Like, all of the pieces are important because you need all of them to perform one unknown thing that we don't know about yet, you know? So, like, it doesn't matter whether you have a queen or a bishop or a rook. Like, all of them are equally important. Does that make sense? So, like, to me, the king piece is the same thing. I don't think it denotes power. I don't think it denotes responsibility. I don't even know that it really denotes much of a role. It's just that it's one that we're missing. Get away from me! We'll see. The Nosis are weird. Like, they've made these out to be so much more important than I think they're going to be in the long run. I almost feel like they've changed their mind on what they want to do with them, but I've got nothing to base that off of. It's just a hunch. It's just a hunch. Who do you think the unknown voice is in 3.3? Me and my friend think Rhine-Daughter. I have a few... Okay. There's a few possibilities. One is obviously Istaroth. A lot of people think it's Istaroth. I think it's possible. It's kind of it's kind of weird if it is. I think, but I won't deny the possibility. The other possibility is that it's the goddess of flowers, which I know people are just like, oh, she's dead. Well, she's not really. She's described as dead sometimes, and she's described as just sleeping other times. So, like, it's possible she's dead with the possibility to be resurrected. So she might just be, like, I don't know, dreamwalking. Which would explain a lot if she's Istaroth, too, because, like, Istaroth kind of, like, travels through these different realms, like, in Enkanomia and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, that's a possibility. Rhine-Daughter is a possibility. Moto's Master is a possibility. I think that one's probably my personal favorite because of the comments about fate and stuff and like kind of the futility of it. I think that would really suit her. But the other possibility... Well, the other possibility is that it's another Seelie. No, we don't know yet. It just feels weird that Rhine would be following us. That's like one of the few reasons why I'm like, no, that one seems odd. That's my one hesitation for Rhine. Right now, we don't have any evidence that she's even remotely interested in the Traveler, so... You are not going into the air. I will keep you frozen for as long as possible. Owie. Ha 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 ha. We'll see. I feel like oh my god, I feel like oh, I'm so sorry. I missed a super chat, guys. I'm sorry. I also missed 5 gifted. What the hell? Alright, thanks for the 5 gifted. I appreciate it. I wasn't looking at chat and I got so distracted. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Where am I? Oh my god. Scrolling through chat gets me so lost and confused. I'm lost and confused. It's a horrible place to be. Robin Grish. Happy holidays. Thank you very much for the super chat that I missed. I'm so sorry. Finally made it to a stream. Thank you for all the hours of free entertainment and for enriching my Genshin experience with your big brain. Merry Christmas. Here's some dog. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. You know what? Okay, so yesterday we had like a really horrible storm. And it wasn't cold or anything. It was just extremely windy, which is honestly more problematic than snow or ice or anything else. The wind is what completely demolishes trees around here, and that knocks out power lines, takes out houses. Like it's just a mess. Anyway, we had a horrible windstorm here yesterday, and Levi was being a little brat. He's my if you've ever been on my Twitter and I've posted pictures of my dogs, he's the yellow one, my big dumb yellow mutt. He's not really a mutt. He's actually a purebred, but he deserves to be called a mutt. That dog didn't pee for 34 hours. He would not go outside. If I put him outside, he'd just sit on the steps. He would not pee. For 34 hours. My other one did. She was fine. She went twice. This is the quality content you guys signed up for, isn't it? Yeah. But that was yesterday. But yeah, he'll appreciate it. He's a little brat. He's a little entitled brat. He loves food, though. But he has a bladder like a stubborn toddler who refuses to use the toilet during a road trip, but constantly cries because they have to pee. That was bizarre. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Happy holidays. And happy holidays to you too, Jeno. Thanks for the super chat. What's Hoyo versus least favorite vegetable? Leeks. Ah, that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting a dad joke. Oh, man. Thank you. Oh, that one made me groan. Is this what you guys feel like when I tell dad jokes? That's, yeah. I'm getting my comeuppance. I have a lot of recipes to learn. There. Woo! We have achievements. Cabbage is their best. Yeah. Also, welcome new members. If you guys were gifted or if you just got your own membership, welcome. I appreciate all the support, you guys. Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Just... I've had a hard time kind of reconciling how far this channel has come this year, because yeah, wow. I'm so flabbergasted that so many of you are willing to sit here and make tinfoil hats with me for hours at a time. It's absolutely incredible, and you guys are just so I don't want to just say like supportive, because like that's true, yes, but like unexpected? Like a lovely surprise. There has to be a word for that, right? There has to be a word for that. A specific word that just means like a delight. That's not quite right. I don't know how to, for someone who writes scripts, I am pretty not great with words. Just know that I've been having a great time. And 99.9% of that, well, no, not 90, 99% of that is because of you guys. And the remaining 1% is because Genshin is fun. But let's be real, I probably wouldn't be making this many Genshin videos if you guys weren't here. So, I mean, I'd still be playing the game. I just wouldn't be making as many videos. I'd be making like 1 or 2 here and there. For funsies, you know. Anywho. Mathito, I have a theory on why the Abyss sibling isn't called the Descender. I think they may have tried to erase themselves like Scaramouche, but since they aren't from this world, they kept their memories. Well, that's an idea. Trying to erase themselves. That would be interesting. I wonder what they would gain from that. I don't know. Fun food for thought. Joker, always fear the lurking dad jokes. They are dadly. Oh, come on, man. That one's bad even for me. I got standards on my dad jokes. They're not very high, but I have standards. Riberium, BT, are you already got YouTube button? Do you mean the silver play button? Yes. I did. It's so funny. I don't know if you guys know this. If you hit 100,000, well, you have to have like 100 and some odd thousand, because like they want to ensure that you'll stay above 100K even if you lose some subscribers. But like when you hit a certain amount of subscribers, you're able to get to request a play button. Oh, right, you have to do these in order. I forgot. Well, let's try doing it this way. So the funny thing to me is that they actually make you go through a checkout process where you have to order it like you were in an online shop and you purchase it for $0. But it was just such a funny thing. I'm just like, wait, you just don't send it to me? You have all my information, but you're not gonna just, oh, I missed one. Frig, I have to do this again. Like, you have all my information. I've already got this. I have to apply for it, and then I have to purchase it through the shop, but I don't have to pay. It's a strange system. I think it's funny. I thought it was strange. That was my pointless story. It's okay. But yeah, no, I have one. Aw, man. It's one of these little dudes. Hi, dude. We sit here and set you on fire. Do 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 dum. Hi. Whee! I can't reach. Cannot reach. Do 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 do. You know what I want to know? You guys remember like back when Amber was giving us our flight instruction thing? And she gives us the wrong book, and instead of the book being about the flight guidance or whatever, it's actually about, it's like a fairy tale. There's a voice that narrates that fairy tale, and I have no idea who it is. That's a voice I would love to identify, because it's not Alice. And it's no voice that I recognize from basically anyone in the game. But it's a woman's voice. So I think it'll be interesting if that comes up again. Whoop. What did you think of the lore in Akitsu Kimodameshi? Oh no, you're gonna ask me about names. Which one is that one? Is that the event? Is that what they call the Test of Courage event? I forget. I can't check right now. I can't check right now. I need to ascend some characters. Maybe what we should do is go hunt some treasure hoarders so that I can get Kaya up properly. Ow. Pooch, sorry if you've answered this already, but quick question. Have your thoughts on the twins being from Teyvat changed in light of the... No, they haven't. But it's complicated to explain why. I'm gonna make a second Descender video, which sounds ridiculous, but I want to explain a couple of things. Because there's a difference between what I think is like the mythological inspirations for Genshin and where I think they're going with the plot. You hear me? Like, I honestly think they're gonna go ancient astronauts and aliens, but I think they're pulling inspiration from, you know, different mythologies. But there's a reason for all of that. So, like, on the one hand, yes, I think the twins are from Teyvat. I still think that. But how do I put this? It's one of those situations where it's like, I don't think it means what you think it means, kind of things. Let's just say I think this has a lot to do with the human race trying to colonize multiple planets. So, while it's very possible they could be from Teyvat, it's also possible they're from a race of beings that colonized Teyvat and then also colonized other areas so that this area actually has, like, you know, their technology and everything that they're used to. But anyway, I still think that them being from Teyvat makes more sense than them not being from Teyvat, though. No, I messed up. Oh wait, this is the smart way to do it, isn't it? Use these. But no, Yanfei, come on. Help me out here. I can walk on fabric. Not very well, but I can. Whoa, okay. Not well at all. Very poorly, in fact. Cinemo, so is that right that Celestia is the one that grants visions? Did they know about the A's hunt decree? If not, that could be an interesting way for Dotori to question Nahida's gamble for Nosis. We know nothing in regards to that. Like, legitimately, we know nothing. I think it's logical to assume that Celestia is involved with the granting of visions. Because, and this is literally the only reason, because Venti calls the Nosis like these more advanced versions of visions. And since Nosis are kind of like their connection to Celestia, it would stand to reason that visions were also like that. But that's like the only real evidence that we have that they're related. Does Goro's thing count as a geoconstruct? I'm gonna find out. It does not. Rest in pieces. It was worth a shot. But I'm personally torn on it because the way A talks about visions and things like that, she keeps saying like that thing, like it's some bizarre foreign entity that she doesn't recognize, which is strange. All right, I really do need to. We're going this way. I need to fight some treasure hoarders. Jason, any speculation on what information is on the bow of Irminsul that Dainsleif kept tying in with Mathedo's questions, perhaps the siblings' data? We don't know that it's only one bow. It's probably a lot of them. I think it's probably more accurate to call him, well, yes, like he is the bow keeper, but like, how do I, you guys ask hard questions. I think he carries a lot of them. Like, I think he considers it his duty to hold on to all of the fragments of memories that others won't. Does that make sense? So, like, yes, he could have some of the twins' memories. He could have Conria memories. That's probably the big one that he'd be carrying around. He could have memories from a previous civilization. He's obviously got memories on, like, literally every person into that, which means that he may not even be, like, a keeper of the boughs of the tree necessarily, but, like, he might just have access to Irminsul at, like, a godlike level. That is also possible. Did I miss another thing? Am I, where am I? Hunty Micah, happy holidays to you too. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate that. I hope you guys are having a great one. Hang on, I wanna... Yeah, I need more treasure metals. She needs hypostases and oh right. Yenfei is gonna be the hardest one to handle here, isn't she? Yeah. All right. Well. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, Eric, happy holidays! Thank you for your super chat. What am I doing? I can't look at two screens at the same time. I'm not that talented. About your Istaroth theory, what if her other element is cryo? It would fit the Morai theory, anemo birth, hydro life, cryo death. Yes. Okay, so a couple caveats on my Istaroth theory, right? While I am making the claim that I think the Goddess of Flowers is Istaroth, I'm also leaving open the possibility that she's just one of the Moon Sisters. Maybe not Istaroth, but one of them. And the reason why I felt like I was able to do that and not be kind of cop-outy is because I'm implying that all three sisters are technically gods of time. So it's very possible that Istaroth has one element, and then the other sisters have other elements, and that the goddess of flowers may be one of those other sisters instead. That's where me head's at. Because, like, I can and I did make a pretty decent case for the goddess of flowers being Istaroth, but I can make enough of a case against it to cast doubt. I just didn't want to because it's a pain in the butt. But, like, for example, you could argue that the timelines don't really add up. Like, why would Istaroth be in Enkanomiya, but then, like, also be in the desert? That seems silly. And you would be right. It is a bit silly. But on the other hand, you could then argue, well, if they have power over time, then it wouldn't matter what time they were in because they could just freely manipulate it, right? And it's also possible that time and fate are two different things. It's possible that winds of time aren't actually time, but like wind might actually be more related to like how do I put this? I guess what I'm saying is that time and wind might be two different things, but then at the same time, time and fate might be two different things. And it could be that a god of time still can't go against fate, which would be weird if they are representing the goddesses of fate. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a perfect theory by any stretch. There's room to wiggle. There's plenty of room to wiggle. But it's fun food for thought in the meantime. I don't know where the other thingy is. Where's the other thingy? I see nothing! Oh, there's an oculi. Hang on. Chat, stop jumping at me! There, actually, you know, someone pointed something out to me the other day. I wanna really quickly, where's the thing? I'll go in here for a second. I think it's in here. All right. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, never mind. No, we're not gonna talk about it. I don't have enough. I don't have my thoughts well enough put together in my own head to be able to articulate them in actual digestible words. So let's not do that. Never mind. There does seem to be some odd relationships between the elements where I'm not quite sure all of the elements were always a thing. I'm starting to think there were only 4 fundamental elements and then they split into other elements later on. I'm wondering if cryo is one of the elements that split off of Anemo, you know, because like cryo and Anemo are very, very closely connected. And this is where things get interesting, right? Because like you guys know the artifact theory, like how the feather and the cup and the flower and all that kind of stuff, they're all related to the 4 shades of the primordial one, plus the primordial one, who's the crown. But then they're also related to like tarot cards. You guys know that theory? I'm not the only one who's shared that theory. Like it's, I know Island has a theory that runs along those lines and that kind of stuff. But in every single one of those theories, except for mine because I'm weird, the assumption is that Istaroth, or the god of time, is the clock. The problem is that if you go tarot theory, right? Tarot theory says that the clock in the suit would be an earth element. And that would kind of check out if Istaroth is Uriel, as I was pitching in the video I made, because Uriel's element is technically Earth. In, shoot, which one is it? I forget which branch. It doesn't matter. But, like, Uriel is an Earth element, so, like, that would check out. But if cryo is death and wind is time, then one thing that time and death are inevitable, right? Like, erosion is inevitable, so to speak. And if Cryo and Anemo are closely related, which they kind of are, because we know that Decarabia was like the god of storms. We know that Andreas has power over wind and Cryo, right? Venti appears to have a close relationship with the Tsaritsa. That's a stupid way to throw your fireballs. So there's some connections there, and so I'm actually thinking that it's far more realistic that Istaroth is a feather in the artifact set, because, yes, cryo death kind of thing, but also, like, again, are they all alive? Wind is kind of like the inevitability of death and time and the passage and erosion and all other kind of stuff, and in tarot, the feather is wind, or air, rather, and it's also the sword. And it's called the Feather of Death. So that's more what I'm thinking. More than anything else. I feel like that's... Well, yeah. I think that's a possibility. But see what I mean when I say, like, I think the elements are actually, like, more connected than we think they are? Like, I think if the Moon Sisters represent elements, they definitely represent more than one each. And there may be a missing element that we're not aware of. And that element is the element of surprise! I'm kidding. That'd be kind of funny. What the heck? I was watching the stream in like a 16-minute delay. Hey, it's okay. I'm on like a 30-second delay and I'm streaming. I am in a corner and I can't see what's happening. Ah! Where did you come from? There's so many of you. I don't like this. You, and you. Time out. Jeez. Leave me alone, man. Omni elements. Yeah, kind of.
Let's appraise the value on this.
Oh, the door opened. They came in through the door like normal human beings. I'm the one who dropped through the roof. I'm the weird one here. Alright, I want the... I'm doing all this for the chest. Wow, holy cow! Yeah, happy holidays to you too. Jeez, thank you for the extremely generous super chat. Jeez, you guys are really in the Christmas spirit, aren't you? Jesus, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day with family, and I hope all the desserts are delicious. And I hope you guys don't have really weird side dishes. My family is obsessed with incredibly weird side. You know, the last time I had a holiday meal, you know what my family made instead of mashed potatoes? Because of course you're gonna replace mashed potatoes of all things in your meals, right? Right? Like they decided to make mashed parsnips. I'm still not over it. You don't replace mashed potatoes with mashed parsnips. That's not how this works. So I hope all of your side dishes are lovely and delicious. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, then I don't know what holiday you celebrate, but like, have fun. It's such a strange thing. I personally don't really celebrate Christmas that much, just due to family history and stuff. My family's just not really big on holidays until like the last 3 years when they've decided they're big on holidays. So now they are. It's weird. It's kind of jarring. But also this year is very strange because like I haven't spent much time outside of my office because I've just been so busy at work and stuff. And then obviously making videos and things. I haven't heard a single Christmas song this year. And so it was like the 20th, and I was like, oh my God, Christmas is like in 5 days. What happened? Every year it comes faster. I look forward to the food the most, though. But that makes sense. I like food. Food is delicious. I'm gonna be up some headed churls, cause this is the time before we know that you were once human. Boop. Boop. Yeah. So nice, my goodness. Landon, do you think Hoyo has forgotten about regular people just ascending to Celestia since it feels like we haven't heard about ascending in a while? No, I don't think they've forgotten. There's a few ways they can go with it, but I don't think they're ready to reveal that plot point yet. They've introduced the concept of ascending in the very first chapter of the game, and now they've introduced the concept of descending. So there's like a two-way exchange that's going on here. But here is the thing. I am thinking that the sustainer of heavenly principles is preventing both ascension and descension. That's something I can share for now. I think she's doing both. I think she's doing what she says she will, and like holding the world in kind of like a stasis, so to speak. Ooh. My computer's warm. Very warm. I should probably throttle it, honestly. Hang on a second. I'm gonna throttle my fans a second. Yeah. 100 degrees Celsius is a little high for me. I don't really like it that warm. Things tend to melt. You know. Anywho, I just realized, and I just remembered, I have a bunch of little wishes and stuff. So let's do some wishing. I have a couple wishes. Let's do some wishing. Let's do some wishing. We got a bow, which is actually not that useful for me right now. I'm gonna go to this guy because he likes me. And I think we can do 2. I'm only like 27 or so into this banner. And I really don't think I'm gonna even get to pity before this banner ends. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. I should be... see... 5... 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we should get the next 4-star at least. That'll be cool. That'll be neato. Yeah, so I do think they're gonna revisit that plotline. I think it's kind of critical to the whole story of Genshin, the ascending and descending thing. Because it feels like the game was, well, not the game, but the world was created with a purpose. That's hinted at a lot, that humanity has a higher purpose. And part of that may have to do with ascending and stuff. It's just that I don't think they're ready to tell us that yet. It's actually probably time to heal my party. Yeah, that's all I can really say on that. I think it's interesting what they did in the manga, you know? Where, like, Vanessa ascends, but then she's, like, in a place that looks kind of prison-y. But then at the same time, she comes back out as a bird, and, like, in Judaism and stuff, like, the soul is represented by a bird. So, like, her soul's still kind of, like, floating around out there. So you gotta wonder what the deal is with that. They're definitely gonna do something with it, I just don't know what. I don't know what. Hi. Bye. What did we hit? Oh, right, okay. Whoop. Gotta run. Bye. Have I reread Pale Princess? I believe it's about Dane and why he was cursed. That's a new one. Why do you think it's about Dainsleif? Alright, my computer's struggling a little bit. Hang on. Hold on. I think I have to turn a couple of things down. I'm gonna turn some of these down so that my yeah, it should be fine. It's not gonna be the prettiest, but that's okay. I don't have the most powerful machine, but it tends to do okay. It's been struggling a little bit recently, so I kind of want to give it a little break. Milkendor, happy holidays! Lasagna, steaks, and more appetizers than you could ever dream of. And oh, and lots of cheesecake and cannolis. Oh, cannolis. That sounds like a great thing to do. I would totally do cannolis. Except I don't think my deep fryer can handle it. My deep fryer is so small. But if I get a bigger one, I won't have any counter space. I also don't have any of the little aluminum tubes. I really want to make cannolis now. Dang it, why did you do that? Now I want cannolis. I want cannolis. They're so yummy and crunchy. Maybe I can make like weird cannolis where they're like pies. But also cannolis. Look, he's worshipping an oculi. You worship and I nom 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 dum ba dum ba dum. Why you dancing? And now announcing staying put. What? What? Staying put where? What? Who? Mine. Happy holidays, Anime Tome! Can anyone see my chats at all? Am I shadow banned? No, not shadow banned. I'm just not very good at like keeping up with chat. I'm not all that great at it. I don't see everything. I kind of like the ones I see I respond to, the ones I don't, I don't. So don't feel bad if I don't get to your question or if I seem to skip it or something. Like sometimes I just literally don't see them because I'm not looking at them. I'm not ignoring anybody in particular. I just sometimes don't see them. I oftentimes just don't see them, actually. That's very common. Ow. Oh dear. Whoops. It's okay, he's level 1. I was trying to use him as a shielder. It didn't work that well. I mean, I guess it was kind of working. I have no stamina. Playing this game with no stamina is so hard. Especially with Yenfei. Oh my god. My stamina management is horrendous. Like, at this point in the game, you have no energy recharge, you have no stamina. You have very few characters, you've got low artifacts, you've got low weapons. Oh, I'm gonna die. Uh-oh. Yep, she did. Okay, you're up. Well, actually, I could... Right. Food. Food is a thing. Mm-hmm. Phew. Can I heal? There we go. Poor Goro. I don't know how to say your name, Lumshio. Happy holidays! Thank you for the super chat. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. And thank you for spending your morning with me. IP Coffee, happy holidays to you too. It would not be a stream without one of your goofy little emojis, so thank you. It's lovely to see you. Oh, goodness. Vernick, in honor of Alhaitham coming out soon, what are your theories on his connections to Deshret? I believe he was an android made to replace Deshret, hence his kit style. But then said, nah, no thanks, fam. That would be hilarious. Okay, so... I have many thoughts on stuff, but where do I start? Where do I even start with Alhaitham? I'd love to say that Alhaitham is just a normal guy, and I'm very partial to that interpretation of him, just because I think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious for him to just be like, is there anything back here? And I'm just like, no, there isn't. For him to be like this big mastermind, being like, no, I just kind of want a cushy life, man. I don't really care. I'm gonna be like a super schemer thing so I can keep everything at status quo and not have to do anything. Like, I don't have to work that hard. I'm just a feeble scholar, my ass. I think that's my preferred theory, but like, you can't ignore all of the callbacks to Deshret. However, something interesting is that he may or may not have the same affiliation as Sino, being the Temple of Silence. And I'm still not entirely sure what the Temple of Silence is, but it seems related to the Mahamatra and like just the enforcement of law and stuff. And they also seem to be desert themed, or desert allied is probably a much better way to put that. So I'm wondering if in the desert, like, you know, history kind of repeats itself. And I wonder if it's not so much that Alhaitham is like a reincarnation of Deshret, but it's more like every cycle or so, there has to be a Deshret and a goddess of flowers in Nilu, and Kasala and Sino. And, you know, like, I'm wondering if there just has to be one for them in every gen. But it's not that they need to actually be them. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like how Nahida is Rukkhadevata, but also isn't Rukkhadevata at the same time. Like, yes, she's a reincarnation, but also not. Clone theory, I guess. Alhaitham's just a bit of a tough nut to crack. Yay! Tomorrow is your birthday. Bless me. Oh, and you really want my blessing? Okay. Well, you can have it. Happy birthday. The only thing I can bless you with is jeans. Whether you want the pants or the character, I can bless you with jeans. That's my one skill. My one skill. But happy early birthday. I hope you have a wonderful one. Wait, were you really born on Christmas Day? Are you Jesus? I'm just kidding. That would be kind of funny, though. Yeah, out of all the Sumeru characters, I think Alhaitham bothers me the most. I honest to God, I don't know what to make of him. Like, because like I do think his connections to Deshret are like completely undeniable. But at the same time, like, it feels weird to have that reincarnate, because I don't think Deshret is like actually dead. Oh, we're gonna die again. You know, I do wonder if maybe he's like Candace and might actually be like a direct descendant. That would be actually quite interesting. Because we know that the descendants of the goddess of flowers, for example, were the Jinn, which would make Alhaitham potentially a Jinn. I think that would be quite interesting. Is it realistic? I don't know. For some guy that talked a hell of a lot in the last Archon Quest, not the last one, but in 3.2 and 3.1 and 3.0, we still don't know much at all about him. I would love to learn more. I can't wait for his story quest. That's going to be interesting. I think those are my two most anticipated story quests, Wanderer and Alhaitham. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Chris M. Did miHoYo really say somewhere in the lore that the Traveler is not from Teyvat at all? Maybe, yeah, probably. But I don't listen to them. They're misleading and they're a bunch of dirty liars. I mean, they also say the game is, like, directly connected to Honkai, so, like, the way that you interpret that can vary. Because, okay, you could, let me put it this way. You could easily say, oh, the twins aren't from Teyvat. They were born somewhere else. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not directly connected to Teyvat, you know? Because, you see, you can very easily say, like, oh, you know, I wasn't born in Japan, but both my parents were Japanese. So am I not Japanese because I wasn't born in Japan? Or am I Japanese because both my parents were Japanese? You know what I mean? It's very possible that the twins are from people who are from Teyvat, but weren't actually like born in Teyvat themselves. That is also a possibility. So when they say that the twins aren't from Teyvat, I take it with a grain of salt because they leave way too many possibilities open for technicalities. So there's that. My Miloho. Alhaitham connections are strong, but I wish so much that Dia would be Deshret. Honestly, yeah. I could see that. That's kind of my thing, though. Like, I feel like... It's so strange. Part of the reason I have such a hard time with Alhaitham as Deshret has nothing to do with the symbolism, because there's so much of it, but more because it didn't look like he ever actually died. He was kind of like a seed that got planted. Kind of like how Makoto did, you know? Although it's debatable whether or not she was the seed or if she just provided the seed, but I guess it doesn't particularly matter. The point still stands. And that point is anything goes at this point. It's a pretty good point, don't you think? That anything goes? Yeah, not really. Zerozian, it's the same with Toma. He is a Monstadt but got his vision in Inazuma, so he is Inazuma. Yeah, it's like that. That is it. The twins are a bit like that. It sounds weird to say the twins are like Toma, but yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. It's just funny. My friend argued with the not from Teyvat like that. If a person is deleted from Irminsul, it stops existing. So it's not possible that Irminsul forgot the Traveler. I don't think Irminsul actually forgets anything. I think things just get encrypted and moved elsewhere. Because, like, it's the same thing on your computer. Like, part of the reason why you can restore deleted files and stuff has to do with the way that it's marked on your hard drive. Like, nothing actually gets deleted. There's not really, like, a process of deletion, so to speak. It's just marked for deletion. And then it's not truly 100% deleted until it's been overwritten. So I think of Irminsul in the same terms. Like, it's not so much that things get deleted immediately. It's more like things are marked for deletion and you have like a limited amount of time before you can't recover it anymore. Is that accurate? Who knows? Yeah, like a recycle bin. Like the Abyss, I think, is just like a big recycle bin, kind of. But I also think Abyss is space, so it's complicated. I like explosions. Big, pretty fireworks go boom, boom, boom. I don't like the loudness of explosions, but I like explosions. Your grandma celebrates her 75th birthday tomorrow. Well, happy 75th, Grandma. Is your grandma Jesus? I bet people born on Christmas Day get really sick of that joke. I can't imagine they don't. Bum bum. Ronco, I really like the idea of GOF being Istaroth. That makes the lore really concise, too. Do you think Damslet could be a direct descendant of the Moon Sisters or just a regular Seelie? That's a good question. Let me pitch you another idea. You know how there's this whole theme going on in Genshin, how it's like, oh, it's the rule of 3, but it's actually 4. And you're like, no, that's not how math works. I'm wondering if there aren't 4 moons. Does that sound confusing? 3, but actually 4. I do wonder that. So there's a possibility that she's a Seelie. There's a possibility that she's just a normal little girl who had some kind of crazy run-in with something. But it is most likely, I think, that she's a Seelie or very closely connected to them. Or a 4th moon sister that we just don't know exists yet. I don't want to fight them. They're too strong. I should actually spend some resin so that I can, you know, level some things. Honestly, Yenfei is gonna be the most useful one to level. Because Pyro is so strong early game. Do I mean the 4th non-current moon sister shade, or that there's a secret moon underground, maybe like an artificial one like Enkanamiya's sun? Anything is possible. I'm just wondering if there may not be just 4 sisters, or 3 sisters, but 4. Or if you combine 3 sisters, if they make a 4th. Which would technically make Columbina or Damslet or whatever, like a one of them, potentially. Or, for all we know, she could be the Seelie that married the traveler from afar, and she doesn't remember who it is. Imagine this. This would be wild. If she was the Seelie that married the traveler, those two were cursed to never remember each other, like, forever, right? So they don't remember anything. So it's entirely plausible that, like, we're gonna meet the traveler from afar at some point. And, like, that's gonna be a whole thing. I don't know. You know, on the other hand, having Columbina or Damslet, however you want to call her, be a Seelie makes a bit more sense than a Moon Sister, if only because it's weird that the Moon Sister is ranked number 3 in terms of strength. But then again, I don't know. One thing that's interesting, she might actually be of a different rank that we haven't experienced yet. Because, like, if we go on my assumption that Seelies are angels, I'm starting to think that the Seelies that have Seelie quartz are principalities. Because I think it's called principalities. And the reason is that I think it's the angels of that rank that are actually given a specific physical domain, like a territory. And I think their Seelie quartz represent their assigned territory, which is why they're there. Which may also be why we see statues of 7, you know? Because those statues of 7 might be functioning like principalities, denoting, like, where their actual territories are and stuff. I've been thinking about that quite a bit. But it's possible that Damslet is an angel, but just not of those spheres. Like, she might be a Seelie, but she might not be a principality.
Let's appraise the value on this.
Do you guys follow that? am I crazy? Heck! Thank you for the 5 gifted, man. That's really, really, really greatly appreciated. And congratulations to anybody who got gifted a subscription membership thingy. Say thank you, Heck. like the awkward way you do in elementary school. Thank you, Miss Frizzle. You know? No, just me? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. The Moon Sisters combining into a true god of time makes sense. Reminds me of the Hindu Trinity 2, one god for creation, preservation, and destruction, representing all life together. Yeah, there's also the whole thing of like the primordial one made 4 shades of itself, right? If you really think about it, it's possible the primordial one just split himself into 4 parts, or itself into 4 parts, rather. And that when they're all united, they make one entity. But there are different aspects, you know? That's possible. There's an interesting line, I think it's in the Flowers of Paradise Lost, where it talks about how the sisters long to be reunited. And I think that's a really interesting choice of words, given that we've been under the assumption for so long that 2 out of 3 of the Moon Sisters are dead. Because if they're dead, how can they be reunited? You know what I mean? That's the weird part for me. So I'm not convinced they're dead, even though like that's kind of the assumption everyone's under. And rightly so. So it's very possible that we're supposed to collect the moons. Like, imagine if you had to, like, merge Paimon with Damslet and then the Goddess of Flowers to create this, like, crazy... And that would actually be really... Okay, this is crack, but it would be so funny. Listen. Like, you know how we joke a lot about, hey, Paimon must be Fane's. Paimon's a moon sister. Look at her 3 moons on the back of her jacket kind of thing. You know how we say that all the time? Well, remember that, like, the Fates were split into the Mother, the Maiden, and the Crone? And in some retellings of like the 3 fates, it's like the child, the maiden, and the mother. The idea is that like Paimon is a baby, Damslet is a young woman, and then the Goddess of Flowers could be like the mother, older figure there. So then you would have all 3. I know it's kind of crack, but it's funny to think about if you went that way. I still think it's weird that a moon sister would be a 3rd harbinger of all things, but whatever. Which is one of the reasons why I don't think it really works, but you get the idea. You get the idea. You picking up what I'm throwing down. Do I have enough for another thing yet? I do! Ready? Ready? This is number 8 or 9. 9? 9. 9. Yep, 9. And 4-star? Yes, 4-star. Is it gonna be again, Faye? Oh, that's so useless. It's fine. Oh, it's fine. I'm raising this because this is a free-to-play account. So we may as well. Oh. That said, there's no way I'm gonna save up enough for the Kaya, so I'm not gonna bother. It's fine. And here we go. Nada. Not a 1. All right, I should be at like 30 for Wanderer right now. Good times. I'm so tempted to like try to run to Sumeru and like get Dendro Traveler. It sounds like a bad idea. We actually need to go north. Because I need to fight the thing. Who's screaming about the rebirth of Jesus resulting in an apocalypse? Did you know that that an apocalypse actually isn't what we think it is? It's actually like a revelation. It means like a great realization originally. It's not actually like supposed to be a disaster thing. It got that association much later on. Fun fact. Fun fact, fun fact. Wait, is Island in here? I didn't see Island come in. Am I really not paying attention that much? Oh my god, I'm horrible. I'm a horrible human being. Yumemi's strawberry jam! I've been thinking about how the Abyss is never really mentioned before the Archon War and even talked about it like it's sentient. So what if it's the remains of the second who came or someone else? Oh wow, I was not looking at the screen. I don't know if this is a good idea to try. I got one! He dead! So, I want to be very clear, the Abyss Order and the Abyss are not the same thing. That's a very important distinction that needs to be made, is that the Abyss Order came about as a result of the Cataclysm of Conria. Ow, are you shooting me through a wall? Brat. Oh, this is gonna be painful. Oh, look at that shield. This is probably not worth it. Probably not worth it. It's possible that the Abyss is sentient in a way, but I don't know how important that sentience technically is. Because, like, the Abyss has been described as a few things, right? Like, it's been described as sentient, but it's also been described as forbidden knowledge, or, like, whatever it has is forbidden knowledge. It's possible that it's the second who came. It's also possible that it's the primordial one. That the primordial one is the Abyss, which is why Goddess of Flowers says, don't seek the Master of the Four Shades, you know? Also, keeping in mind that a shade usually refers to something that's dead. So the Master of Four Dead Things. Fun fact. Jay, have you read the story of the TCG cards, specifically dice and element ones? Did the dice have lore? I've read the cards. I didn't know the dice had lore. Where do you see the dice lore? Ah! Chris, do you think we might get more new elements along the way, like darkness, light, celestial, since Stainliff is listed? No, I don't. I don't think we're going to get another element. What I will say is I do think we're going to get new elemental reactions. I think right now we can basically combine 2 elements, right? At a time. And you can kind of combine 3 with Dendro. Like, you can kind of do it. It's not really 3 elements, but it's kind of 3 elements. But if you think about things in that perspective, it would make more sense for them not to add more elements, but for them to add more ways for the elements to interact. So I've held the belief that Dainsleif doesn't have an element because his element is technically forbidden knowledge, which I don't think will make an appearance in the game as forbidden knowledge. Oh boy. I don't think that'll make its appearance in the game as an element. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna be there. Oh, this is gonna be painful. I don't think I can do this yet. We're running away. I got 30 seconds. It's not gonna happen. I don't wanna. I can't quit either. We just have to wait. Yeah. From a game development standpoint, it would just be very difficult to add a whole new element. Like, part of the appeal of Genshin's system and an element-based system is that it's kind of intuitive how the elements behave and how they interact, right? Like, it makes sense that water and electric creates electrocharge. You don't really have to think about that much. And this is what makes Pokemon's original element system so successful. Is it was very easy to be like, oh yeah, like fire is strong against grass and bugs because if you burn them, they die. Water is strong against fire types because water puts fire out, right? Like, that's all very logical. So they don't have to explain a whole lot of stuff to you. And it's quite similar with Genshin 2 to a lesser degree. So I feel like them adding like a light element and stuff would be very difficult for them, but they could create a light-based reaction, like under certain conditions. If you use your elemental burst and then press hold X, Y, or, you know, like whatever the case is, you can trigger a special reaction that will create a light-bound effect or something. That's something I could see. I could see that happening. Anything else I feel like is too complex for the scope of the game. What did I name my Wanderer, Fujin? I had to, because like the first time I ever theorized about his element being an emo, it was because I was drawing connections to Fujin and Raijin. So I had to name him Fujin. I might rename him to Skara later because that's just his name in my head forever. Not Scaramouche, just Skara. Like, if I write about him, I write Skara. But that becomes a little bit confusing because it sounds a lot like Sarah, which is not Scaramouche. So I'll never be able to call him Wanderer. Like, for I can't. It's not a name. And they know that. That's why they give you the ability to name him. Stupid. I kind of wish they would have let us pick between like 4 canonical names or something. I feel like that would have been cooler, but I get why they didn't do it that way. So it's fine. You, sir, are a blight. Do I think the Abyss sibling was potentially bound to Tevat's fate by Susti in the opening cutscene? I think both travelers were. I think both travelers are stuck in Tevat because of something that Susti did. So, yes. 100%. 100% think that's true. Matcha, so does a traveler have memory loss and the only thing they remember is that they have a sibling? Why is it that they never talk about their past life before Tevat? I think this is one of those cases of Genshin being like, oh, the traveler knows way more about what's going on than the player does, but we just want to control how much the player knows. I think they just don't talk about their past because I don't think they think anyone will understand. Like, they could tell Paimon things, but there's only so much that Paimon would understand, right? And then what would it actually change? It wouldn't really change a whole lot. Because the only important thing that anyone needs to know is like, yeah, we used to travel worlds together. Like, they've always been with me. I don't know why they're like this now. I don't think the traveler knows why their sibling would do the things they're doing. And for that reason, I don't think they think anyone else will understand either. So I don't think there's any reason for them to tell to tell, you know. Did I watch Way's new video? No, I haven't. I don't watch a lot of other theorists' content. I watch some, and it's not for any weird reason other than I don't want to be biased towards an opinion that's not mine, just because I want to be able to keep my content original in that way. Like I don't want to steal other people's ideas until, well, I don't want to steal other people's ideas. But I don't want to be influenced before I've been able to get my own thoughts out of my head. Does that make sense? So a lot of times I just won't watch other theorists' content until I've accomplished what I want to do in the same vein. So like, for example, I didn't watch anyone's Descender videos until after I'd already made my Descender video. That kind of thing. So I haven't watched Way's video, and I probably won't for a while. I'm usually pretty behind when it comes to other theorists' content. For the reasons that I stated. My Discord, please. My Discord is members, and you are a member. It should be in the community post that you get access to. But if you want to get on the Discord and you have a membership, what you need to do is log into your Discord account, and then you go to settings, and then I think it's under integrations, and you should see YouTube pop up there, and my channel should pop up, and you should be able to just see the channel automatically once you connect. So it's not like you have to follow a link or anything, but the instructions are on Discord support page and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not really like a link. It's like you connect to your account and then it shows up. There's a nice group of people in there, by the way. That my Discord is very, very friendly and full of a lot of really excited people. They're all really cool, and they like to hang out and voice chat, and they like play games together, even when I'm not there. One day I'll be a bit more better about showing up in voice chat. I'm not very good about it. If MiHoYo decides to make a Linux port for Genshin, would you consider buying a Steam Deck? No, I don't. No. For two reasons. One, I don't think they'll make a Linux port. I don't see why they would want to. I don't know what they would gain from doing that. And then two, I think if they're going to choose between Steam Deck and Switch, they'll pick the Switch. And like, you can say what you want about the Switch not being able to run Genshin because of like bad hardware or whatever, but the reality is that's just not true. Like, Genshin is a mobile game first and foremost. They can just put the phone version on the Switch and it should run okay. But I think the reason why they haven't done it is because they just don't want to manage another code base. And I can't blame them for that, you know. But I also wonder if Sony kind of made them go a little bit exclusive for X amount of time for the PlayStation 4 stuff. So I think that also plays a factor. But I think they have way more to gain from putting it on the Switch than the Steam Deck. So I don't even think they'd do a Steam Deck. I would much rather play it on a Switch than on PC, but whatever. This is going to be hard. I tried fighting the cryo. I have beat the cryo Registine a couple of times, but it was very hard because I don't have a whole lot of damage. It is gonna be very hard. Uh-oh. Oh, look at my pitiful damage. 369. Oh my god. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. I need to let my dogs into the house. Hello. Hello, Foofies. Hello, you big baby. good boy. What? What is it, Lily? Don't look at me like that. I can't take the puppy eyes. I'm gonna die. Oh right, I could do these things in co-op too, huh? That's a thing. I wanna try first on my own and see how far I get, and then I'll. Oh dear. This will be challenging. Where's the crystallize? There's no crystallize. I should have brought Goro. Ow. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. Little bit. I'm gonna do that and that and also that. It's not difficult to join the Discord. Listen, sometimes it takes a few hours for it to show up in Discord, but you can't get into the Discord through a link. It doesn't work. You have to go through the Discord integration process, which is not unique to my Discord, by the way. You can find all of the instructions that you need in a community post that you should have access to as a member. Ow. And those instructions will take you to the Discord support page. Because the process for joining the Discord is the same as basically any other Discord. You just have to go through integrations and settings in Discord. But again, you might have to wait a couple hours before it shows up. I'm running. Which regions do you theorize the Harbingers will show up in? You mean like which regions each Harbinger will show up in? Like, say Dotori shows up in Fontaine or something? Is that what you're asking? Give me particles. Ow. I don't have Noelle built. It's just gonna be a long fight, that's all. Oops. We just rotate skills. Under connections, that's what it is. It's under integrations for me, but I think that's because I own it. Whoa, that's quite some range. Whoops. Not what I meant to do. Oh, okay. That's fine. I don't need Noelle built for this fight, that's true, but like also consider that I need to leave and then I lose all my progress because I can't change my characters once I'm in battle. So this is just where I'm at for right now.
What's the hurry? Cool it. So sorry.
This is just how we're gonna play this, all right? Whoops.
Freeze. Disappear.
Oh dear. Gene, your particle generation is horrendous.
Freeze.
Give me particles. There we go.
I swear by my sword.
Finally. Owie. Anyway.
Incinerate! Yikes! Inadmissible evidence!
We're getting there. Run, 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 run. Okay. Just run somewhere and get the Dendro Traveler. Yeah, I was thinking that. I might do that soon. Actually, because Dendro Trav is nice. Problem is, my only Hydro is Barbara. Which means he'd only really be useful for, oh, I'm too far away. He'd only really be useful for, Lisa right now. Ow. Yay! They really don't... They give you Barbara. But, like, that's it. But there aren't really that many Hydros just in general, so... Like, that's probably why. Like, when you think about it, there's only 3 4-star Hydros. There's Xingqiu, there's Barbara, and there's Candace, right? Like, that's it. There's no other 4-star, Hydro units. Everyone else is 5 stars. We can do it. It's just a long-ass fight. Ow. You are a very mean dragon. How did Klee beat this by herself? Klee is a monster. There. Next time I'll do this in co-op. What a pain in the butt. This is so sad that this is like kind of what I'm at. But you know. Okay. I need Noctiluctus Jade for Yunfei. I need some shards, which I also don't have. However, Jean honestly deserves a level up or 3. There. I probably should have done that first. Anyway, with enough nitroglycerin, yeah. Hydro Traveler is going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to make, Hydro Traveler like... Okay, so we could do Kaya. One thing I want to do for Jean, though. God, this makes me so sad. I think... Oh, I have a Cryo Cup. Nice. Okay, I need some energy recharge on her, like, post-haste. Okay, that should help. That should help. I should level these, though. I don't have an ER one of these, which is also very sad. Okay, well, we'll do this. Hydro Trap could be a healer. That would be interesting. Hydro MC being a healer. Yeah, this is a new account. Otherwise, why would I be using 3-star artifacts? That would be so sad. So sad. Defense! Hooray! Actually... Let's finish leveling this. MJ, what are my thoughts on the artifacts representing Fanes and their shades? Time, space, life, and death. I really like it, but I also love your Moon Sister theory. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive. It's a theory I've actually included in my videos twice. So it's not unusual. And you can basically find almost all of my thoughts on them in those videos. I think the one that I pitched the original idea in was in the Rhinestone Alchemist. I'm pretty sure that was the I'm pretty sure that was the video for that. I have a 4-star flower. Gasp. Gasp. Okay, hang on. I gotta sort some artifacts here for a minute. We gotta, yeah, hang on. I saw a cryo cup. There we go. There we go. We'll keep that. That's cool. I lose my crit rate though. That's unfortunate. Um, 12% crit rate or 18% attack at this point? I mean, let's see. Do I have a headband? Attack. Oh dear. Crit rate, 7% crit rate, but I could get 12 by switching to one of these. Probably worth it. Probably worth it. Because this way I can keep Sojourners and also Berserker. This feels so sad, okay? This feels so sad. Going for a challenge run. No, I'm not going for a challenge run. I'm doing this because I'm missing footage. And also because, yeah. I'm missing footage. And sometimes what'll happen is I won't know that something's going to be important. Like, when I did the Secret Sakura quest, I did not know there was going to be a boss fight. I did not know that. And so what ended up happening is I lost most of the footage of that boss fight, except for, like, one small part of it. And so I would love to have that properly again. So things like that, you know, it's just nice to have a backup, I think. And then also it's nice to have, you know, something that I can mess with on stream. Energy recharges 20%. Okay. So, oh, I have some 2-star pieces on him. Let's fix this a little. Let's fix this a little bit. This is silly. This is silly. We'll give him instructors. I don't have an emo damage. So you can have this. This is fine. Level 0 artifacts. We love it. Love to see it. Hooray! She needs some bulk. I did create a second account to play the other hand of the story. Other hand of the story. I don't know what that means. What are my opinions on the Sumeru Archon Quest now that it's basically over? Very wordy. Unnecessarily wordy in a lot of ways. But honestly, for Genshin standards, pretty good. Genshin has this thing where it's got like some really excellent ideas. But then it kind of, how do I put it? It doesn't always deliver the way like I feel like it should. And that's not even the right way to put it, actually. What is a better way to put this, actually? Come to think of it. It's more like there's just a lot of unnecessariness. You know? Like there's just so much that's just unnecessary when it comes to the execution of Genshin's story. Like, there's so much unnecessary dialogue, for one. They do a lot of the tell, don't show, which I don't appreciate very much. I don't like that. There's little things like that that kind of irritate me when it comes to Genshin's story. What am I doing? Oh, I guess Berserker would be better here, huh? There. Now I have crit rate. Hooray! Yep. I'm gonna go over here. It's just really wordy. It doesn't need to be that wordy. Like, yeah, okay, that's a good example. Being mad about Yai explaining the whole thing about Scaramouche at the end. Yeah, that's one example of it. Right? Like, they could have just shown us that cutscene. They could have. But instead, they decided that they were gonna show us, like, 2 seconds of the two meeting and then not explain anything else. It's things like that that I don't like. So I think Sumeru's Archon Quest had a really cool vibe and a great idea, and I was pretty pleased overall with it. But I think Genshin still has a long way to go in terms of storytelling, just because they're so wordy, even for a JRPG. Like, it's a lot of words. You don't need a lot of the words. They are not necessary. So that's my opinion of it. I really liked the Akasha system. I really liked the character development that Nahida went through. I really liked Scaramouche's role in the whole thing. I thought that was great. I actually really appreciated how they wrapped up his story. I thought that was very cool. And highly appropriate. Yeah, so I mean, like, overall, I thought it was very good. I want this. Dylan Gillian, they basically did that, but better with Nahida and Dotori and Sumeru. We saw them discussing things rather than the Yai Sakura thing. Or the Yai Skara thing. Yeah, exactly. I would have loved to see the discussion between Miko and Skara. Like, that's the one thing I'm so pissed about with that quest. Because there was no reason for them to not show us. Like, I know the Traveler was passed out, but they were passed out with Dotori too, so, like, what's the difference?
I must leave no stone unturned.
There isn't one. That's the difference. That was actually something I didn't like about the interlude quest, though, was the dialogue between Escher and Niwa. That kind of pissed me off because, like, it wasn't written in a natural way at all. It didn't feel like a discussion. It felt like the exposition of a play. And I was like, really? That's how you're gonna roll with this? Really? After everything else that you did so well, that's how you're gonna handle this? I thought that was weird. I'm still pissed about the Niwa thing in general, though, so, like, whatever. Whatever. It's fine. I'll get over it eventually. But this is something else that Genshin really struggles with. They have really good world building, okay? Like, let it never be said that I've said bad things about the world building, because I love the world building. I think it did a very good... I think it just does a really good job of fleshing out the world and making it feel lived in. And all that kind of stuff. But I feel like Genshin really struggles with, again, dialogue, and also, how do I put this? How do I word this? How do I word this? I lost my train of thought again, because I got distracted. I got distracted and I lost my train of thought.
What's the hurry?
I guess it doesn't matter. It's the tell don't show mindset that bothers me, I think, the most. That's really what it boils down to. Whatever else I was gonna say doesn't really matter. Like, that's what it boils down to. Oh no, I remember what it was. I remember what it was. I remember what it was. I'm sorry, I screamed. That was bad. No, what really got me about the interlude quest that I did not like under any and all circumstances was the fact that I felt deliberately misled rather than cleverly foreshadowed. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole thing with Niwa isn't mentioned in any place except randomly in, like, the Harangapaka Futsu sword. It mentioned as, like, one of the founders of the Ishin art. And then he's mentioned in only one other place, and that is in, oh. Hi, Chest. It's only ever mentioned in the Iridori Festival, which was an event, which is temporary. And so, like, you have all of Tatarasuna, that entire island, and this guy is supposed to be the one who's, like, in charge of all operations, and there isn't even a single mention of him anywhere. Like, that feels like a deliberate misleading thing. Or if they weren't deliberately misleading, then it feels like they changed their mind and didn't actually properly retcon. And the only thing I hate more than retcons is an improper retcon. Meaning, like, a retcon where they're like, yeah, we're gonna change things, but we're not actually gonna, like, really change things. We're gonna make it look like, oh, no, we actually intended to do this all along. Because, like, retcons can be fine. I get it. You know, games change stories as time goes on. That's how ongoing series work. It's fine. But you gotta do it right if you're gonna do it. Anyway. The Niwa thing still pisses me off, and I'm gonna be mad about it forever. Like, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I'm never gonna get over it. That and friggin' being boring with the Harbingers. I'm so mad about the Harbingers. Irminsul is retcon tree, but, like, Irminsul is good retcon tree. Like, it's like a proper plot device, and I like it. I like Irminsul as a plot device. It makes sense to me. But, like, the rest of it, what they do, I just, sometimes I don't mind being wrong as a theorist, all right? Like, that's half the point of being a theorist, is, like, you're gonna be wrong. It's not a big deal, right? If you have a 50% hit rate, you're doing pretty good. But what I hate being knowingly misled. I don't care if I make the wrong assumptions or I come to the wrong conclusions. I just hate being deliberately misled. It pisses me off so much. Another part of the reason why I haven't done the Scaramouche analysis yet is because I'm still mad. I'm gonna be mad forever. I don't like any Harbingers anymore because of that. I do feel like the Harbingers are getting retconned too, which I also don't like. I'll buy that they had something like this in mind for Scaramouche since the very beginning. I will. I'd buy that, but the rest of them, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm skeptical. Have I watched the Little Onion That Could's videos? Yes, I have. It was interesting. That was one of the weird instances where I actually had watched one of his videos before I had made my own on the topic. It's not common, but I did that because I knew that my opinion was going to be different than his, so I didn't feel bad about watching his first because I knew I wasn't going to use any of it. But the one I have in mind was where he was making the case that Rukkhadevata and Nahida is actually one of the Moon Sisters, and it's a really good theory. If you guys haven't seen it, you should. It's a very solid theory. I quite like it. But obviously my own thoughts on the subject are a little complicated. But oh my god, stop hitting me! I hate this one. Can you stop interrupting me? Oh my god. I'm gonna just... Okay, that's enough of that. I feel like I have C4 Kaya. Oh my god, get me away from here. Just... Okay, that's... No! 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 Stop it! You are gonna perish. Drown. Stupid thing. Anyway. That was fun. Yeah. Love them Cryo Abyss mages, man. I love them. Anyway, the struggle there was really, yeah, like just perpetual stun locking, man. I hate it. Oh, it's frustrating. Whatever, it's fine. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. By the way, I think. Oh, I am so close to this. I don't have enough of these though. I don't even think I have enough to get that high. I have 7. So I could make a couple. I could actually do Kaya first. I might have to... You might have to do Kaya first. Which is fine. Because I think I can actually make enough things for him. Let's go do that. I would like to ascend. Will Skarmosh meet A in the future? I am skeptical. I am very skeptical. I don't think they're actually going to make them meet. It's unless they're deliberately misleading us again. I think it's way more likely that Skarmosh is, like, his story quest and stuff is going to involve, Can I? What is happening? Wait, can I not? 25! You son of a bitch. Well, that was a waste of my time. This is what I mean. Like, I thought I was gonna kind of like breeze through things and like get all my stuff, but the reality is it takes so long to like unlock the things that you need to get to a good point. And it's a little frustrating. Not gonna lie. Little frustrating. Anyway, I want to go to a statue of 7. Oops. Yeah, okay, so anyway, like I was saying, with Skarmosh and Raiden, I don't think they're ever going to meet. And I know that's going to piss a lot of people off because they were really excited about, you know, mother and son reunion type thing. I don't see it happening because, for one, Kazua's story quest was required for the interlude quest, right? And Skarmosh's whole history and his whole identity is pretty much tied to the swordsmiths for the most part. It's not really tied to his creator or his mother. So I find it very unlikely that they'll go that route, especially since he's basically deleted himself and from everything. And he didn't tell the traveler to say anything to his creator after the quest. He said to tell the descendants of the swordsmithing schools this kind of stuff that he did instead. So, like, he's taking responsibility for his own actions, but he doesn't seem to anticipate A, taking any responsibility for him, which I think is an interesting... what's the word? Duality? It's not right. You kind of get my point though, right? Like, it's an interesting double standard. Like, the things he expects himself, he doesn't seem to expect from her. So I don't think that he has any intention of coming into contact with her. I think the best that we'll get in terms of an A and Skara interaction will be like Skarmish will have to go back to Inazuma for something, and A will catch sight of him at a distance and like maybe have a vague notion of like he seems very familiar kind of thing. I think that's probably the best we're gonna get. Chalky, do you have any ideas on how I could start a Genshin Theory channel? Just start. Like, there's no secret, guys. Like, if you want to make content. That's it. There's... I'm gonna go off on a really tiny rant for a minute. A lot of content creation is luck, as much as I hate to say that. Like, you have to get lucky that your video will be seen by the right person that sets off a chain reaction that other people will see it that also want to experience the same thing. You have to get lucky on your timing. You have to get lucky on just like a lot of things in that sense, right? Because like, it's so easy to make content. It's like the barrier to entry is very low. That a lot of people do it, and the market kind of gets flooded. So like a lot of success in content creation these days is really down to luck. But the only way to stay in the content creation space and to continue to grow and do well, and like if you want to establish a channel, is just to keep making content and to keep making content that's as good as you can make it. Consistency and quality is really the only thing that's gonna take you places, honestly. So the best thing that you can do if you want to start making content is just start making content. Go to your YouTube channel, decide on a topic, and make a video. Try to make a thumbnail that's at least appealing. That's my one thing. The thumbnail is quite important because it's basically like a billboard, right? People are kind of be scrolling by it at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so it needs to be able to catch someone's attention and look interesting at the start. And I would also recommend that if you're gonna start a YouTube channel, one of the better things that you can do is not start with a very large theory. Like, don't make your first video a 45-minute video on like the introduction to desert lore or something. I wouldn't do that. I would start with smaller 10-minute videos because like you're not vetted yet when you first start. People don't really look at your content and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to invest an hour of my time into watching this person. They might be like, oh yeah, you know, I'll throw 10 minutes at it, whatever, that's fine. So like that's my other thing. Other than that, like just start, just make something. I didn't have any equipment when I started. I just pulled out my phone and I used my phone as my microphone. So you definitely don't need any fancy equipment. There's lots of free video editing software out there. Your editing doesn't need to be fancy. My editing is not fancy at all. You won't convince me that it is. It's not. The only time my editing gets even remotely fancy is when I don't do it. So, you know. But yeah, just start. Like the Nike slogan says, you just have to do it. I'm stuck. There we go. Okay, Noelle, what is the problem here? There we go. Sanjay, I don't know what the impression is that you have of me not playing Honkai, but I don't like to play Honkai. It's not a fun game for me to play. I don't like the gameplay, so I don't play Honkai. But that doesn't mean I don't keep up with the lore of it. I play Honkai, as I like to call it, vicariously. Meaning I watch other people play it. I watch people go through the story. I know the lore. I've read all of the comics. I have done all of the visual novels. I'm up to date on all the chapters, and I'm actually like slightly ahead of global because I'm actually following the CN releases instead. So like I know Honkai's lore. The problem is trying to make it crossover with Genshin's lore is a crazy task because you need to understand both Genshin's concepts and Honkai's concepts. So a lot of times what happens is I will be basing a theory off of stuff that's been happening or that has happened or rules of the world of Honkai, but I will explain them only in Genshin terms because that's what my audience knows is Genshin. But if you're really into straight up just hardcore combat, then Honkai is a fantastic game for anybody. It's not really my thing. I'm just not very in love with it, so I didn't last very long actually playing it. Also, it just has way too many endgame modes for me. I get so overwhelmed. Because I'm a completionist. Like, if I have stuff to do, I will do it. And, oh my god. I was trying to jump, and I didn't jump. I know I'm supposed to use Geo Traveler for this, but I don't want to. It can be done without him. I just gotta get good, that's all. So yeah. No, I know astrophysics and I know quantum physics. Like that's like stuff I really like. I love that kind of stuff. I don't need an incentive to learn it to get into Honkai. That's silly. But even then, like Honkai is like a lot of technobabble for a lot of it. Like a lot of Honkai isn't super accurate. Like you have to also remember too, like a lot of the sciencey characters in Honkai will be trying to explain these really difficult concepts to people who are not canonically that smart, like Kiana. So they have to dumb it down a lot. So like I wouldn't even worry about that. Yeah, Honkai does have a lot of filler too. But like it's good filler, it's wholesome filler, but you really do have to be invested in the characters, I think. If you're not invested in Honkai's characters, like it gets way harder to get into it. Yeah, it's way harder to get into. But I'm pretty well versed in Honkai lore. I can talk about it intelligently, at least. I'm not hardcore, because, like, I try to keep my focus on the game that I'm playing. That said, I do intend to play Honkai Star Rail, and I do intend to at least make lore videos for it. I don't know if I'll make theory videos for it, but I'm gonna at least try to, like, do lore summaries and stuff for it. Because I think that'll be helpful. That's the other thing. It's, yeah. It is a good game, though. I mean, I do recommend it. Again, if you're someone who really loves the battle system in Genshin, and like if you tried the Zenless Zone Zero gameplay, if you like any of those sorts of games, you will absolutely love Honkai's gameplay. Like I'm sure of that. The other thing I want to point out though is like it's not very free to play friendly. Honkai is. If you're competitive anyway, like they almost force you to pull for characters to keep up with the meta, which is another reason why I'm pretty pleased with Genshin, is because it's... I know that sounds weird coming from me, but it is actually free to play friendly because the value you get from one character is very big. It's a lot smaller value in Honkai, which is why they're more generous with their currency too. It's just a more hardcore game. Yeah, I came to Genshin from a Breath of the Wild angle too, rather than a Honkai angle. So I totally understand that. And again, like this is one of the things that I think Genshin really struggles with is that they like, how to put this? They try to do too much and they try to appeal to a lot of people, and it does seem to be working, but like they can't make everyone really happy. Like Honkai basically has two aspects to it. It has its complex story, and it has its, you know, engaging battles, and that's basically like everything it is. But Genshin has like a lot more. It has way more mini games. It has way more varied content. Like now we've got a trading card game in here. We've got, you know, teapots and stuff where you can like basically play Animal Crossing. There's all sorts of little things like that where Genshin is trying to appeal to a much wider base. And that's why I think it's honestly more free to play friendly, is because the value is higher, but like it is stingier with currency. That I will concede immediately. Oh, I hate this one. Because you have to do this one so fast. I don't wanna. I'm not doing this right now. I don't wanna. I know I could just go get Amber and Shangling and do it. I don't wanna. And you can't make me. Light actuators are something I was looking into a bit more. I was trying to pay way more attention to the light actuators this time around. Oh my god. Boy, I can't wait for Shneznaya where everything's gonna freeze me. That's gonna be amazing. I know I should kill the thing. I don't want to. Making with a slight flower to myself, it's okay. Bap. Oh my god, there's more. Oh, there's 3 waves. Got it. Cool. Great. Love it. Stop freezing me! Oh my god. I'm gonna mold! Are you joking? Okay. Yep. I get it. I get it. I get it. I see you. It's fine. Oh, goodness. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Fontaine's gonna be the worst for that, isn't it? Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. You will not bubble me! I will not make any tier lists. Please don't ask me for tier lists. I won't make them. I hate tier lists. Like, personally, I hate tier lists. I think they're some of the most useless things out there. And I can't stand them. So I won't make them. I'm not going to start this right now either. And the other thing is, too, is like, I don't like judging character strengths. I don't. I think that's also kind of a useless endeavor. Like, strength based on what? Physical strength? Overall combat ability? Are we looking at elemental mastery ability? Like, are we doing about secret stuff? Are we doing it like when they're completely uncapped, unregulated at their prime? Or like I'm not doing that. I don't want to. I don't care. I honestly don't care enough. It's not worth thinking about, in my opinion. Some people love tier lists. I am not one of them. I despise them with every fiber of my being. I am going to wrap up here a little bit shortly. On Monday, the holiday stream. This is a holiday stream and I haven't even gone to Dragonspine. I feel awful. No Genshin lore book tier list. No way. Not doing that. Some of these books I don't even want to think about. I don't even want to know that they exist. As far as I'm concerned, the Boar Princess, it does not exist. It's not a real book. So I don't want to think about it. Is there any part of Genshin's lore or story that you'd like to rewrite with your own canon? If so, what would it be and why? It would be Inazuma. Honestly, like, Sumeru's fine. Liyue's fine. Monstadt is fine. Honestly, like, because, like, Mondstadt's story is very simple, very straightforward, but at the same time, like, it was getting you introduced to everything, so it's fine. Right? Like, I have no problems with it. Liyue's story, also, I thought it was fine. Does it have problems? Yes. But it's still fine. It gets the point across. It does the job. It introduces you to other things. But Inazuma's, I thought, was so difficult to understand. Because they tried to do so much, but we didn't actually have the context for any of it. And it was only after going to Sumeru that we understood at all what was happening in Inazuma. And I understand that we went to Inazuma first because we had to get the whole thing out of the way with Scaramouche, because otherwise nothing in Sumeru really could have happened, and you needed to go to Inazuma to do that. But, like, I get it, but at the same time, also, no. I really wish they had released Inazuma and Mondstadt, and Sumeru at the same time. Like, in parts. I really wish that that had been the case. Like, that we had gone back and forth. That we had done, like, 3 acts of Inazuma, and then we had done, like, 3 acts of Mondstadt or whatever, and then... Oh. I don't know where the oculi is. I think I just did a boo-boo. Unless it's, like, underwater and I haven't drained it yet. Well, whatever. It's all good. I can get it later. Where am I going? Oh. I shouldn't have done that. I wanted to... Right. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We can release Inazuma like Sumeru. No, I mean, okay, so I'll explain this and then I'm gonna head out, okay? So here's kind of where I'm at. A lot of the stuff that we needed to understand what happened in Inazuma required the context of Sumeru to understand. And so a lot of Inazuma doesn't make sense and just feels unfinished or sloppy or inexplicable because we don't have the context because we didn't go to Sumeru yet, right? And I hate that. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. And then Kokomi never got her chance to shine. You never got to see her martial or strategic prowess, even though that's like supposed to be her whole thing. So she got shafted so hard. Right? I hated that. The whole thing with Tepe was kind of ridiculous. You didn't get to see what happened with Scaramouche and Miko. That felt just kind of tacked on. Miko trained you for a fight that you never actually got to do during the Archon Quest. She only trained you for a fight that you got to do after you did A's second story quest. So that felt out of place. It just felt so weird that you went from suddenly being Kokomi's, you know, Swordfish 2 head to suddenly being Yae Miko's servant. It was just so jarring. And I hated that so much. So what I would have liked to see instead, and also the Vision Hunt decree still isn't explained. Like a whole patch later, we still don't understand the Vision Hunt decree. Why was it so important? I don't know. I have some suspicions, but I have no, like, confirmation. And again, a lot of this stems from the fact that Hoyo was going through growing pains while Inazuma was being developed. So I understand why it happened, and I understand that they wouldn't have put us in Sumeru until... Dendro was released, and they couldn't do that until after, like because of the way that they're working. You know what I mean? Like there's reasons why things happened the way they did, and I get it, but I don't like it. It bugs me. So there's that. Anyway, and then Signora's whole thing. I really wish she would have gotten a flashback cutscene like we got for Scaramouche in 3.1? I think that was the you know, like the one with Hypatia, that cutscene, I would have loved to have something like that for Signora. I feel like it's necessary, but it's also the reason why I think she'll come back. Not as Signora, but as, you know. But, what happened to the chest? I just yeeted it out of existence. Anyway. No, I don't. Stop it. I'm running to the Statue 7. Leave me alone. So I feel like it was just too complicated. Like, there was a war, there was a Vision Hunt decree. We still don't know what the Vision Hunt decree was for. We don't understand anything about the Sacred Sakura and the Cataclysm there, really, because we haven't been to Sumeru yet. And there's so many of those things. You know what I mean? I don't like that. So to make it work, it would have felt really good if we went to Inazuma and then we investigated the Vision Hunt decree and then realized we couldn't do anything else. So maybe we only had access to like 2 islands, like Narukami and Yashiori or something. Like, let's say we just have access to those 2 islands and that's it. And then we have to go back to Liyue and then go through the chasm and then go to Sumeru. And once in Sumeru, we go through like the first Archon Quest, and we meet Tainari and we talk to him and he tells us about Irminsul and we meet Kale and all that kind of stuff. And then because we understand Irminsul, I don't know, maybe we get something else that tells us more information about how all that kind of mechanics works, and we get to meet Dottore and figure out his whole thing. And maybe he can actually tell us more about delusions or visions in this case instead. And then maybe he gives us a hint about something that we do to go back to Inazuma. Right? And then we go back to Inazuma because we have intel about a new Harbinger being there, and we want more stuff, and we can't do anything about the Akasha, so we head back to Inazuma, and then we do the whole thing there. We solve the Vision Hunt decree, and then we come back to Sumeru, finish the Archon Quest here, do Scaramouche's thing or whatever. Like, that would have made more sense to me, anyway. Or else they would have needed to simplify some of Inazuma's story, or alternatively, if that's too complicated, which I recognize it is a bit complicated, alternatively, what they could have done is not given us a second story quest until after Sumeru, which I don't think is a problem, honestly. Yeah, I know the pacing is off for this idea, but like the pacing is off for all of it. Like, the way that they've done it is so strange. Something had to give, right? Like, we had to do something before we went to, like, before we dealt with the stuff at Inazuma to give us context so that we understood what was happening at Inazuma. And it's like a lot of the context we still don't even have. So I know that my whole thing isn't perfect by any means, but like, I'm trying to find a solution where it would have made more sense, and I don't know. But I would rewrite Inazuma. I don't really have a good canon for it. Like, that's one problem. I don't have a good canon for what I think should have happened in Inazuma, other than I would have loved to see, you know, the Vision Hunt decree not just be more impactful, but how to put this? I just wanted to understand the motivation of the Fatui for it. Because all Scaramouche says is like, it was very important for the Fatui. It's so important for us. You don't understand how important it is. Like, yeah, no, I don't understand. Tell me. Why is it important? You're a villain. Extrapolate. Monologue. Do something. Anyway. Before I go, will I be making a video about R&Rs? I've already done that. I did that back in 3.0. I'm done with R&Rs. I'm not touching them again. What is the context for Inazuma that we don't have? No, we have it now from Sumeru, but we didn't have it during Inazuma. Like, do you know how many people tell me that I predicted Irminsul? And I'm like, no, I didn't predict Irminsul. It's there. It's just never explicitly stated, like, in the main lore. It's like often offshoots and like artifacts and weapons and stuff. Like, you have to go hunting for it. And I think that's part of the problem, is like Irminsul is such like a core feature that I feel like it should have been explained way earlier, at least a little bit. Like, we didn't have to know all the details of it, like it grows upside down and that its roots are in the abyss and that it's all like, but it would have been good for us to know more about it. Something more about it, you know? So that we understood what the hell was going on with the Sacred Sakura when that happened. But then also still, I'm just really pissed off about the Fatui's motivations in Inazuma because I still don't understand them. Like, you're hunting visions, why? Is this anything to do with delusions? Then you're distributing delusions, okay, why? There's a factory in Inazuma, okay, why? It's still, like, we still have no context for this. So annoying. No, I think we did need context because Inazuma felt really confusing because we didn't have any. We didn't understand all of that. We didn't even have an inkling for what they were trying to do. It was just kind of like, okay, now go here. Okay, now start a resistance. Okay, now power of friendship defeats the Archon and done. All right. Yeah, it is more that the story itself is rushed and not because of lack of context necessarily, but like, this is kind of what I mean. Like, you need one or the other. You either need to pace the story out better so that you can flesh things out, or you need to provide some context so that you can flesh things out yourself. Like, they need to do one of the two, and they didn't do either. And again, it's not really something I blame them for. Like, I understand why that happened. It's just that if I had something to change about the story of Genshin, Inazuma would be it. That's all. And let me be clear. It's not that the story of Inazuma was bad, okay? It's not bad. A lot of Inazuma's lore is really cool. And a lot of the stuff that happens is really cool. And Raiden is actually a really neat Archon and a very interesting character to kind of like dissect, you know? But I don't like the execution. I think it was sloppy. I think it wasn't very well thought out. I think it was rushed. And there's a lot of things they could have done different. And I would have just liked to see that instead. No, okay, but listen. There is a difference between providing context for events that are happening and telling you what is happening, okay? Like, let me put it this way. If you're a magician, right, you don't tell people how the tricks work, but you do show people the tricks, right? I feel like in the case of Genshin, sometimes what they do is they tell you that there is a magician doing tricks, but they don't tell you what trick they're doing. And that's different from telling them how they did a trick. You know what I mean? Like, not only do you not see the trick get done or even part of the trick get done, you just get told that a trick got done. You don't know by who, by where, by how, like why. You don't know anything else except a trick got done. And that's very different because like, if you're in a game where like foreshadowing is being done properly, right? Usually there will be a hint and you won't understand the hint, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. But you still know that the hint is there. And then you kind of collect these hints and you're like, I don't understand how all these hints go together, but I see they're leading up to something. And then maybe, in your case of Final Fantasy, 8 years later, now you've got payoff for it and you're like, oh my God, all these hints make sense. In the case of Inazuma, I don't see that happening because like a lot of the payoff and stuff, it's not hinted at. Like, okay, let me get to you another way too, okay? Which is very confusing and something I don't think will ever get explained. We've been told that gods don't die. Okay, but then Makoto is dead. So is Makoto a god, or is she just not actually dead? We don't know. And there's no way to really like get a hint of anything. Like, yes, they can die and leave stuff behind, but then, like, why, where, how? Now we're looking at things like, oh, by the way, the abyss might actually be forbidden knowledge, but also it might not be, but also it might be sentient, but also it might just be space, but also, like, you have all these possibilities, and that's fine. I'm all for an abyssal mystery, but, like, there are some things that I'm like, this isn't mystery level. This is, like, a core mechanic that should not be a big reveal. Like, you should mention the word Irminsul in a quest before you get to Inazuma. People should know what a ley line tree is. People should know how the ley lines function. Just in general. Like, because that's not a big reveal. Like, that's not something special, you know? It's core world building. It's just something you need to understand about how the world works in general to establish Tevat's laws. It bothers me. That's all. And then you can obviously go to Enkanamiya and be like, oh, hey, you know, like Bishop's actually had this whole thing in the Light Realm and there were multiple realms. And it's like, okay, that's fine. That's not core understanding of mechanics. That's like Tevat Genesis stuff. It's not necessary, but it's cool, right? It's good to know. That's the kind of stuff that's like hints towards a bigger reveal that you don't have access to yet. And that's okay. That's fine. But like, people need to be told what ley lines are. People need to be told what Irminsul is. They don't need to know like the specifics about it, but they need to be told what it is. It's the tree of life. Okay, that's enough. That's all you need to tell us. But they don't do that. Instead, we get the sacred Sakura, this big magic tree, and it's like time travel shenanigans, and you're like, wait. You don't have any context for it, so it feels like it comes out of nowhere. Because you didn't establish the rule for it. Anyway, sorry, that was like my really long tangent. I didn't mean to go on. But why would the traveler know these mechanics of the world he knows nothing about? No. You're misunderstanding here. Listen. All of these things that I'm telling you are things you could have found out if you read the weapons or the artifacts or books or domain descriptions or any of those sorts of things, right? Like you could dig and find it. It's not like it's not there. They know the rules, they've established them, and they're there for you to find. But the problem is they don't tell you in a main Archon Quest until you get to Sumeru. They need to tell you these sorts of things earlier. Venti tells us about the Nosis. Venti tells us about visions. Venti tells us about ascending to Celestia. Why would he not also tell us about a tree? Why would Zhongli not tell us about a tree? You know what I mean? Like, there's lots of those little things where I'm like, should have been telling us these sorts of things. Just the little things about how the world is structured, not how they interact. We can extrapolate that. We don't need to know about the specifics of it. We don't need to know about this big memory deletion thing that affects the hearts of humanity. We don't need to know that. What we need to know is that Irminsul and the ley lines control the elemental flow of the world. That is one fundamental law of Tevat, right? Like that's, whoa, that spooked me. Like that's a fundamental law of Tevat. It's little things like that that they need to tell us, and then they don't, because that provides a framework for us to understand, oh, the sacred Sakura is important because trees are sacred in Teyvat. Right? Like, because we have this one big sacred tree. Okay, I understand. This tree is related to time. I get it. Moving on. But they don't do that. It's irritating. Yeah, this is an alt account. Sorry, this is my EU account. I'm slowly making progress, maybe, kind of. Theory crafters can make endless theories. Okay, we don't need to be coddled. We definitely don't need that. It's totally fine for us to not have that hand holding. Like we don't. I personally don't think that the community at large should have to go to YouTube or Reddit and read theories and lore explanation videos to understand the fundamentals of how the world works. The advanced connections, sure, absolutely. But like the fundamentals, no. No. That's why I think Inazuma comes off so bad, in my opinion. That's the biggest thing I don't like about Inazuma. Is that it basically told us one thing that we had no context for.
Can't handle the cold.
And then gave us context later. Even though that context is like a core mechanic of the world.
What's the
I'm just gonna be mad about it forever. There's a difference between foreshadowing and world building. Anyway. That's the reason you say Dark Souls doesn't have an actual story. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to that. I think that's similar. I see there's a agate here somewhere. The reasons for the Inazuma Archon Quest was written this way because Hoyo was going through growing pains at the time. Like they literally like 3x'd their employees. And that is such a painful thing for any company to go through. Like it's hard to be mad about something like that. It's really hard to be mad about something like that just because of how difficult that is. It is okay to see things without understanding them, but guys, what if you were told that you had to work in a kitchen? Okay?
What's the hurry?
But you were never told, and you didn't know, that cooking required heat. All you knew is that when you put a meal in a box and hit a button, it came out cooked. This is a bad analogy. But I think of it that way. There's a difference between understanding nuances and not understanding like certain things until later, and just being given core fundamentals of how the world works. It's almost as if like, okay, here, oh my god, stop. You can put it a different way. Let's say the elements in Genshin were not pyro, cryo, hydro, dendro, like all these relatable things. Let's say they were like elements that you literally had no concept for. Like say they were Kronana and Desperia and a bunch of words you didn't recognize, With animations, you couldn't link to like real world things and the reactions didn't actually make sense. Like say Vaporize didn't happen. Let's say Cryo and Dendro made Vaporize. And let's say Hydro and Animo made Burning. Would that make sense to you? Would you understand what was happening? Would you know why that was a thing? But you wouldn't, like, you'd have to think about it. Like, every time you wanted to apply an elemental reaction, you'd have to stop and be like, wait, what happens when I mix Hydro with an Emo? Right? Like, what happens when I do that? It's not instinctive. It's not something that you can just accept immediately. Because you don't have any context for it, because there's no real world building for it, right? So the thing about elements in Genshin is that they make sense because we have a real world comparison to make with them. We can be like, okay, Cryo is ice, obviously. Ice melts when it comes in contact with fire. That makes sense. But, so I don't have to think about it. I don't need that explained to me. I might not understand entirely like what Bloom does and stuff like that. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We can actually figure it out if we sit there and think about it for a while, right? Like that's all good. But there are core mechanics of this game that we need to understand in order to understand like why people are the way they are. Because these are the things that don't have a real world comparison. The real world doesn't have a tree of life. Scientifically, I guess depending on your religion, that could be different. But, you know, like the real world doesn't have an Irminsul. We don't have that to compare to. We don't have, like in Tales of the Abyss, for example, they explain the phone belt very early on because phonons are like the fundamentals of all magic within the game. They don't tell you about all the special interactions and history and everything in there. And it's okay if you run into things that you don't understand about phonons, but you have to understand fundamentally what they are and what they do because they are the laws of the world that you're in. It's a very long rant. It's hard to explain like what qualifies as what. But Irminsul is one of those things that I'm like, this qualified. And I'm still miffed that they didn't do it right. Why did it take over 2 years to get there? The thing is, like, you can argue, yeah, they're just making things up as they go along, but, like, even that's not true. Like, some of the stuff they're obviously making up as they go along, and that's good because we want to make sure that they're, you know, they have some level of flexibility in their story if they need to change things. That's fine. But then other things, you know they've planned out from the very beginning. And when it comes to world building, especially, those are hard rules that you have to set really early on because if you change them, you change the whole world. So the simple fundamental rules of the world are so critical. And I just get irritated. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Teyvat has its own laws, but they should probably be written somewhere. Yeah, like, we don't need to know what the heavenly principles are. We know that they're, you know, force that governs over Teyvat. That's fine. We don't need to know what the laws are, just that there are laws. We don't need to know what the Irminsul does. We just need to know that it exists. There are things like that. Like, these are fundamentals. We didn't know about leptons, quarks, and bosons in real life. We learned that in time, but IRL, we don't know the laws of nature. No, but we do, right? We know the laws of nature, we just don't know how they work all the time. But this is exactly what I'm saying. Fire is hot. We know that. That's a law of nature, right? We know the second law of thermodynamics. We don't even really need to think about it. We put it into words, right? But like, it's something that we kind of know instinctively because it's part of the experience of us being in a world. It's told to us every day. Like, if you go into water, you will get wet. That is a law of nature. We don't need to know like how different molecules interact to make us wet. We just know that we get wet. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's a fundamental difference there. Yeah, we never directly interacted with Irminsul before A's second story quest, and that's what I mean. It should have been explained at some point at that, like during there, because things would have made sense. She mentions a god of time before she mentions the tree.
Let's appraise the value on this.
Which is crazy. Because the god of time is not a fundamental. Anyway, I'm pretty much I think I'm all set for today. Although I really don't necessarily want to end on that note. That's a silly place to leave off. Lots of devil's advocate in the chat today. Yeah, and that's okay. Are you okay? Like, guys, you don't have to agree with me, all right? You don't have to agree with me. Let me make that very clear. I don't need to be agreed with. This is an opinion of mine. Because okay, let me give you an example of why I hold this opinion. Let's say, let's use Full Metal Alchemist as an example, right? Alchemy is part of the core mechanic of that story, game, comic, show, whichever method you consumed it from, right? But the only two things you really learn about it early on in the first chapter is that it's odd to be able to use alchemy without sigils or without an alchemical circle. It's very odd. So that makes the protagonist special. And you learn the law of equivalent exchange, meaning you can't create anything from nothing. You can only transmute from one source to another. Those are the two things that you learn early on. And you don't have to understand anything else because those are the two core fundamentals that everything else in the entire series is based on. Irminsul and the elements are two of the things that this whole game is based on. You could actually argue Irminsul, Elements, and Celestia. Those are the three things that this game has, that it's based on. You need to understand that those three things exist. You don't have to understand how they work. You are not told that Irminsul exists until the end of Inazuma in A's second story quest. And even then, it's not even like you're even told that it's by that name. You're not even told until Sumeru that it has a name, that it is a special tree. All you know is that like there's weird trees all over Tibet. That's it. But it's a fantasy game, so you're expecting weird trees everywhere. Like that's just kind of a thing.
Things are going a little too smoothly today.
Elements you can get because you have real world framework for it. You don't need to really be told what they do or how they work. You just know, okay, elements are energy. Got it? Yep. Everything makes sense. Okay, got it. Gods rule the world. Makes sense to me. That's how most religions go. I don't need context for it. Also, Genshin has weird trees. I don't know if that's important. Turns out like it's the fundamental core for everything that exists in the game ever. So yeah, why wait 2 years to tell us that that even exists? Yeah, for context, one won't complete a story quest until after Sumeru with AR40. Yeah, like this is the thing. The adventure rank kind of helps you control when you get to experience things, but it's still frustrating because it was released before Sumeru was, and it shouldn't have been. Anyway, why do we need to know the rules or whatever? Some things can just be left to explain later. No, that's not the point. There's a difference between how things work and that things exist. Those are two different concepts. But again, you guys don't need to agree with me. It's fine if you disagree. It's fine if you think everything's fine. This bothers the crap out of me because it goes against every literary rule I know. And it's just, in my opinion, it's not good writing. When you're constructing a mystery, what you're doing is you're slowly revealing things to the viewer, slowly over time. And it's okay that you don't understand what it is because like you can't see everything, but you know something's there. What Genshin does is instead of slowly revealing something to you, it tells you, there might be something you're missing. And then doesn't show you anything. It doesn't even like slowly reveal something. It's not like they put a cloth over an object and they said, oh, look at the shape of this object. Isn't it mysterious? And then slowly they lift it off over time. They say, okay, turn around. There's something behind you, but you can't look at it. That's the difference. I don't find that good writing. That's the kind of writing that pisses me off. Anyway. Also, I just want to say, like, this chat is going to be a little bit biased towards, well, Irminsul isn't new information because a lot of you are really into lore and so you're going to go seeking it out either in videos or anything else. But, like, understand that the bulk of the player base does not have that experience, right? Even if we look, even if we looked at my entire subscriber base and said all 100 and some odd thousand of you know what this is, in terms of percentage of Genshin's overall like player base, you are a very, 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 very small percent. If there are 1 million players in Genshin, 100,000 is peanuts. If there are 5 million players in Genshin, 100,000 is even smaller peanuts. You understand? Like, law of large numbers. That's all I'm saying. Like, I didn't want to know what Irminsul did. I didn't need to know specifics of it. I didn't need to see it. I didn't need to do any of that. I just wanted to know that it existed by name somewhere. It feels like something someone should have mentioned by now. Common folk do know that Irminsul exists, though. Because that's what the ley lines are connected to. Like, that's the thing. Like, it is common knowledge into that. No one talks about it because it is common knowledge. They don't need to talk about it. It doesn't need to be explained to them. It's obvious to us. It's not. People call Raiden Ball. Irminsul isn't the problem here. I mean, yeah, that's also part of it. Like, that whole reveal was not done well. I'm still salty Rukadavada doesn't have a proper model. And I'm salty that Makoto doesn't have a proper model either. That also irritated me. Anyway. No, they do know it as Irminsul. Like, it is a thing, all right? It is a thing because it's in books. It's in artifacts. It's mentioned by name in these, like, secret places. It's not mentioned in dialogues. But people don't have to talk about it. That's kind of my point. No, they know it exists, though, because there are legends of trees in the sky. There are legends of a tree underground. I mean, Hu Tao knows about it. Hu Tao's story quest is basically all about it, and she never mentions it by name. Think about that for a second. She's literally guiding dead people to Irminsul, and she never mentions it by name. Not because she doesn't know what it is.
It's time to move on.
Anyway, that's my really long rant. Sorry. Did I know in the new Honkai event they talk about the moon castle in the sky? Yeah, I mean, like the whole like next couple chapters are all about the moon and the moon base and stuff. But I mean, like that's all previous era stuff anyway. I guess all I'm saying is I wish that more of the things that I feel are really critical to understanding the world of Teyvat weren't as hidden as they are. Like, I don't mind if, you know, gods of old are hidden in there. I don't mind if, like, Chio lore is hidden. I don't care if anyone ever knows who Moon is or who, you know, like, I don't care about those sorts of things, right? Those sorts of things can stay hidden. Those sorts of things can be nice Easter eggs for people who are paying attention. That's okay. I think that's good. I think those are good little rewards for people. I just don't feel like the Easter egg should actually be like the main plot. That's all. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it off here. I didn't mean to go into a really long rant. Sorry. That was not the intended purpose of this. But I hope you guys are all having a really happy holiday, even though you're listening to me get really pissed off about writing. But yeah, no, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. I hope you guys are enjoying the latest videos. I have 3 videos upcoming. Well, no, actually that's not true. I have 4. I have 4 videos upcoming. In no particular order. I have one secret little project that you're gonna really like. That's just like a fun little thing. That I can't talk about much yet because I'll spoil so much. But I have that, so that's gonna be great. I'm very, very, very excited about that actually. I'm gonna do the full Scaramouche analysis soon. I'm also going to do a 3.3 Archon Quest recap, which I think is a little bit overdue. That will probably come before the Scaramouche analysis, because I was still debating whether or not I do them at the same time, like in the same video. I don't think I will. I think I'll do them in 2 parts. And then the last thing I want to do is the long-awaited World Structure Theory Part 5, which was supposed to be the final part. And it's also going to function as like an alternate take on Descenders. Which is funny. I don't usually write theories that contradict each other. Like generally, most of my theories can fit together pretty nicely. Which is just that's just how I operate. There's no particular reason for that. I just like to... I like to work on one puzzle at a time, I guess. But in this case, I'm actually going to present 2 Descender theories. One that's already been out, obviously, and the second is going to basically end up being the last structure of, or the last piece of World Structure Theory Part 5. 2 years later. Yeah, so that's fun. Oh, yeah, if you guys are still pulling for Wanderer, good luck. I hope you get him. I'm still pulling for Wanderer. And we'll do one last one. Nope. No good. I don't think I'm going to get him on this account. That's okay. We do the free-to-play thing and we wait for a rerun. And then if you're going into Ayato or Raiden Shogun's banner, I would be a little careful because 3.4 seems like it's going to be a pretty stacked patch. So unless you absolutely need one of them, I would say maybe don't do it. But if you do, I hope you get them early and I hope you get them painlessly. I hope you win your 50/50s. So good luck, guys. I'm going to sign off. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve thing. Will I stream Archon and character stories with this account? I mean, yeah, I can.
We have work to do.
I can do that. But yeah, good luck, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas Eve. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.